Sports update with Trust a Trader. Find top-notch tradespeople in your area, all who pass the Trust a Trader 15-point assessment.
Talk Sport.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Liam Rosenier's immediate future is said to be under grave threat following a fifth goalless defeat in a row. talkSPORT understands a plan of action is being discussed by Chelsea's sporting leadership. Our chief football correspondent Alex Crook says Rosenior is on a far less stable footing these days.
It was only a month ago that we were being told by sources at Chelsea that Liam Rosenier's position was safe regardless of whether or not they qualified for the Champions League, that they wanted to give him a whole season in charge, the whole of next season, before making a judgment. That stance does seem to have changed.
The questions over why Rosenior was hired in the first place ring ever louder this afternoon. Former Blue, Emmanuel Petit, has told talkSPORT he simply lacks the necessary experience.
He couldn't refuse the offer,
No.
But I said as soon as he came at Chelsea, the step was a little bit higher for him in terms of experience. You know. You're coming into a mess, actually.
Petit says the majority of the blame actually falls on the players' shoulders. Ex-Chelsea defender Robert Huth says players rarely take any responsibility these days.
They know all how to play football, they know how to play a good pass, but sometimes a game throws a different situation at you and you have to adapt on the pitch, and it's sometimes you can't necessarily coach for.
Next up for Chelsea, an FA Cup semi-final against Leeds. You can hear the whole thing here on talkSPORT. Elsewhere today, Everton have confirmed Jared Branthwaite will miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. The good news is he doesn't need surgery. James Tavernier has announced he'll leave Rangers at the end of the season. And Jude Bellingham says he owes it to the city of Birmingham to invest in their 100 franchise. The Real Madrid midfielder has bought a 1% stake in the Phoenix. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Prime Minister's former Chief of Staff has been summoned to appear before MPs next week to answer questions over Lord Mandelson's vetting to become the US ambassador, and the EU has warned people's summer holidays are very likely to be at risk if the Iran war continues to put pressure on aviation fuel stocks. More from Will at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got a wider range of premium tyres than Britain has rainy days. Visit your local centre or book at quickfit.com today.
Dry with clear spells into this evening. Cloudier skies across eastern Scotland and north-east England. Breezy across the southwest.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Drive Time with me, Andy Goldstein. No, Darren Bent. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Forget him. I've got the legend alongside me who goes by the name of Stuart Pearce. Hi, Stuart Pearce.
Pleasure as always.
You're looking well, man. I love the haircut.
I'm hanging in there, yeah.
Good. You look well. You look well.
Buffering.
Maybe later. By Jingo, we've got a show for you today. We'll start, of course, with Chelsea as they made it 5 defeats in 5 in Premier League games. We understand Rosenior's future is in doubt. So who can save them? We're also building up to a huge night, exclusive Premier League action on talkSPORT. Man City head to Burnley. What a big game that is. A chance to leapfrog Arsenal in the Premier League table. And ahead of that one, we'll find out if Stuart Pearce thinks he's England's best left-back. Is it Nico O'Reilly? Paul Pogba's been speaking about his old teammate Bruno Fernandes, arguably the best player in the world right now, question mark. All that plus we'll be joined by world champion Dalton Smith, and we'll mark 50 days to the start of the World Cup with Stuart Pearce, of course, and Brad Friedel joins us as well on today's show. What a great show that is. It's Drive, it's talkSPORT. You can get involved. 03717 223344. Dial that number. You can speak to Stuart Pearce today. How about that?
Thank you very much and good night.
Well, not yet, Stuart. Good afternoon, Stuart Pearce.
It's a pleasure to be here as always. I'm happy to fill in.
I always get excited when I know you're going to be in that seat. Because I know you get excited.
I do.
I get a different Stuart Pearce, I think, to any other Stuart Pearce on talkSPORT.
I can see that. I was at Brighton yesterday, right, and I said to my talkSPORT colleagues that were sat round a table, and some of them weren't talkSPORT colleagues, they were just voyeurs as well.
Yeah.
And I said, they said, are you going to Burnley tomorrow for me, for the game tonight? I said, no, I'm not. I've got Mr. Goldmember. I'm, been drafted in again.
Yeah.
So he said, I said, that's tough. You know what I mean? I said, where are you? They said, Burnley. He said, I would rather go to Burnley than with him. I said, I don't.
Well, people I know.
I'm not mentioning names. But
I think you should mention names, Stuart.
It seemed to be a groundswell of opinion from the likes of Durham and whatever that an evening in Burnley was better than an afternoon shared with you which I find incredible.
They're just jealous people. They're just jealous.
I knew there was something underlying. I don't know what it was.
Let me tell you, Age's been in the seat for many a year, right?
There you go.
A little bit jealous.
I thought there was something more to it than that.
A little bit jealous. Nothing I can do about it. Right. He's itching to. He's on every day at the moment on this show. He's itching to get back on it.
Just move.
He's listening now.
You don't need him.
No, I don't need him. Adrian, who? Before we move, I just want to give a big thanks out to the wonderful boys at Mizuno, because I was in my car for 2 hours, stuck on a motorway, listening to the Breakfast Show on the way. Great show this morning, because the wonderful boys at Mizuno, Alex and George, have kindly fitted me for some irons and a driver, by the way.
Did you need them?
I need as much help as I can get. What's amazing about it is I've never had golf clubs fitted before, and I said to one of the guys, I bet you can't fix my slice. Yeah, we can fix it. The screwdriver, little another head, straight as an arrow. I'm like, if you've never had clubs fitted, it was a game changer for me. It was mind blowing.
I find that incredible that they could literally fit them and it changes it exactly like you're telling me.
Because when it sees all my bad points, right? I'm hitting the ball badly, I'm slicing it, and then they put a club head on that sort of counteracts everything I'm doing wrong to straighten everything up. Unbelievable. I mean, Mizuno are the best irons you can get.
Is that right?
And the boys there were fantastic. I'm a very lucky boy.
Where was that? Where did you go?
It was in Surrey.
Right.
And the big Mizuno truck was there that goes on tour with the players.
Oh, nice.
Quite cool to see. I like all gadget gizmos like that.
So you could be single figures very, very maybe.
Funny you say that. I've had a bet with a mate of mine. He reckons in 18 months, he plays off about 17. His name's Darren. It's a big bet I've had. He reckons within 18 months he can get down to 10. Right? And the bet we've had is whoever loses has to have I Heart and then the other person's initials tattooed on their arm.
Nice.
What do you make of that?
That's a tough call. Yeah. When you go under the ink.
Yeah. I've got ink on me, so I'm fine with it, and he's got ink on him.
Yeah.
But so it'd just be another one. But I think my money's safe.
Yeah.
Right.
To be fair, to get to 17 down to 10 is a big ask.
Is it? You've got to play twice.
30 to 20 isn't so much.
That's right. You're exactly. I likened it to losing maybe the last 2 stone of weight.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. First 2 stone, no problem.
Easy to get off.
Is he a porker? Is that what you said?
No, he's not. He's anything but, actually. But he's not. But it is that, right? Is that easy to get the first couple of pounds off?
Yeah.
Couple of stone or whatever.
Yeah.
Always hardest to cross that line, isn't it?
I don't fancy his chances.
No, good. Okay. You see me in 18 months with a big heart tattoo, you know I lost a bet.
Nice.
We've got lots coming up today's show. Lovely. We'll talk England a bit later on for so many reasons. One, of course, 50 days to the World Cup.
Perfect.
And I've got you alongside me. But we're going to start with last night's football. 5 league defeats in a row without scoring for Chelsea. So will Liam Rosenior survive until Sunday?
For the 6th time in 8 games against Chelsea, Danny Welbeck, who's enjoying a renaissance.
The players need to take responsibility. You know, how many times does Sanchez give the ball away? The players need to have a look at themselves.
2 months ago, they were 4 points clear in 5th. This is all on Rosenior's watch, and as I say, they weren't this bad under Enzo Maresca.
Brighton group of talent comes to the fore once again, punishes Chelsea, who have been a shambles tonight.
Yeah, they were a shambles for the first time since 1912. Yeah, you heard right. Chelsea have lost 5 league games in a row without scoring a goal. Nuts at that. They were beaten 3-0 away to Brighton, which saw them drop to 7th in the Premier League. Their boss, Liam Rosenior, spoke to talkSPORT last night. He said that a few of his players were let down by the rest.
Being a part of this football club comes with pressure. Pressure is something that you should enjoy. Pressure is something that you should grow in. I have to say there were 3 or 4, which is unacceptable in its own way. Should be 11 at all times. There are 3 or 4 who give everything, and they were let down today. And that's something that cannot ever happen again at this football club.
You were at the game. You did the game for talkSPORT last night.
I did, yeah.
I heard Jason Cundy comment on it. Says it's one of the worst he's ever seen, one of the worst performances he's ever seen for Chelsea. I saw the highlights of it. Was it as bad as everyone's saying?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Let's not lose track of the fact Brighton were fantastic.
Okay.
That was one of the best team performances I've seen from a team this season, and I've covered a lot of games.
But were they good because Chelsea let them be good?
Well, that you make your own mind up over that. It was a real contrasting Brighton were magnificent. The movement of the team, the rotation, everything was bang on. The only downside I could probably pick a hole in them is if they'd have finished some of the situations they created, a fair result would have probably been 5 or 6-0 in that game as it stood. If they had have finished well, God knows how it would have finished. Chelsea were really, really poor. And, I mean, Liam mentioned there about 4 of his players were let down by the rest. I don't know who the 4 were, to be fair, if he's suggesting 4 of them done quite well. They were, to a man, really poor. The goalie was shelling the ball out of play for no reason. They were out-fought, they were out-battled. You name it. Every aspect of the team, apart from maybe the first 10 minutes of the second half where there was a slight uplift, change of formation, slight uplift. Brighton scored the second goal, and then that was it. It was back to Brighton in the ascendancy once again. And the Brighton fans, my goodness, if any of them ring in later or whatever, it was like a comedy sketch. Every time the goalie got the ball, the Chelsea goalie was just shelling the ball out of play. I lost track of the times where, from a goal kick, he's hit a long ball that's gone out of play. It was comical almost, but really worrying for Chelsea. The only good thing, the only plus they got, is they got a massive game on Sunday. That might be good, it might be bad, I don't know, but it'd be an exciting game that we're covering.
Let me talk about Leeds in the semi-finals of the Cup. Right, we'll get to that in a moment. I've had this conversation with Benty numerous times. Difficult for me to argue with anyone that's played at the very highest level. Benty has, of course, you obviously have. As a football fan, looking in from the outside, I always see it as when a team capitulates like Chelsea have, I always put it down to the manager. Always, right? If a team start winning, if a team wins trophies and league titles, it's the manager, right? The manager that's sought after goes on to bigger and better jobs. If a team starts playing badly, I think the opposite. It's still the manager, but he's not taking control of the players. Examples I could give you would be when Gerrard left Aston Villa, Unai Emery comes in. The most recent one will be, of course, Ruben Amorim leaving Man United. Michael Carrick comes in. Same set of players, does things differently, right? How much of Chelsea's problems, on-field problems, 5 defeats on the bounce, no goals, etc., how much blame, percentage terms, do you think the manager takes in that scenario?
Well, I would have thought 40% the manager, 60% the players, but I've always, as a player, always felt as though the buck stops with me as a player. And they set you up. And I don't think the way Chelsea was set up yesterday, really, it was almost Cucurella was the only Chelsea player, in layman's language, on the left-hand side of the pitch. And he was just getting overloaded down there. They changed that at half-time, and it solved the problem slightly. But for me, there was a real lack of leadership with Chelsea on the football pitch. A few of their players had just lost their way. They were getting out-battled. I mean, I've been involved in a coaching staff that have gone down to Brighton and played at home against Brighton that have got outplayed with their tactical approach, very clever, with different managers, Potter and whatever, before this fella coming through the door, Hertzler. But I tell you what, the one thing Brighton have probably not done to you is physically dominated you. They did that to Chelsea yesterday, which was absolutely incredible. Every aspect of the game, it was an incredible game to watch, and one of the best performances and most memorable games of the season for one team playing so badly and one team playing so well.
Yeah. I do think the owners have destroyed the club. When you think the owners have been there, this will be their 4th year, and it looks like it'll be their 3rd year of 4 without Champions League football.
Yeah.
They have got all these players on long-term contracts. I don't necessarily think that helps them. When they came into the club, the previous season, they were European champions, Chelsea. Now they can't even get, effectively, it looks like they might not even get into the top 10. It's a possibility this weekend they could drop out the top 10.
Yeah.
How much blame do they take? And do you think if they lose, you mentioned the cup semi-final at the weekend, which is like a cup final, actually, ironically, against Leeds, if they lose that, Chelsea, what do you think the owners will have to do this season with their manager? Because it is a results business, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I want Liam to be successful. He's the person that I've had with my first under-21 squad. He was part of that and whatever, and tournament and whatever. And I like him and I want him to be successful. He's an English manager, and I always want English managers to do well. But at the moment, I'm looking at him, and Well, to say he's on the back foot's incredible. I don't think that his squad of players are helping him in any way, shape or form, and he needs all the help he can get, to be fair, from those around him.
Has he been thrown under the bus a bit by the owners?
A little bit. He's got a job here that is, it's a fantastic job for him to get, make no mistake. But listen, he's following on from Mourinho and the like, some incredible managers, but he's still, I would say, in footballing terms, still learning the game a little bit. So he's learning on the job, if you like. And it's a real tough one. I've been there. I've been in that technical area. It's a really lonely place. I've got to say, you can't even tell people, not even people in the game, what it's like to manage when things are not going your way, how lonely it is, to be fair. And you sit in the office late into the evening when everyone's gone home and you're mulling over, how can I improve it, how can I not? And it's a horrible place to be. And Liam will know that now. I can see it in his face.
Okay. Do you think it will last the season if they lose?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No. This game Sunday is a massive game for Chelsea and him, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to score. Forget about winning. They've got to score. They haven't scored for 5 games.
I'm not sure putting players on 5 and 7 year contracts is helpful to any players, because they've got no aspiration to maybe do really well to move on. And they're on such big contracts that they think, well, here I am and here I'll stay, and you'll move before I move as a manager.
It takes all ambition out, doesn't it?
I think so. And the one thing I'm really pleased that I played in the era of football that I did, I had to take a wage cut from being an electrician to be a footballer in the top division in the country. So every day I had to earn my living, to pay my mortgage, to pay for rent, whatever. And that keeps you sharp and keeps you focused.
But as a sparky, you were on $7 million a year, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Electricians now, they paid nothing, but back then...
Yeah, back then, it was a lot of money in the game,
Right, we're taking your calls, Chelsea fans. Which players from last night do you think that Liam Rosenior was talking about and can actually rely on? And if he does go this weekend, Chelsea fans, who do you want next? 03717 223344. Dial that number. You can speak to me. Andy goes, it doesn't matter about me. I've got Stuart Pearce alongside me. Take advantage. Pick up the phone.
Vincent Kompany's side have won their 35th Bundesliga title at the weekend, have made adding another winger this summer a top priority. Gordon's thought to be open to a move to the Bundesliga, even though a starting spot, the Allianz, is not guaranteed. Sources reveal the England international has already spoken to Harry Kane about life in Munich. Newcastle United reported to be willing to sell, providing their valuation of at least £75 million is met. Do you think that there's a possibility that Bayern might balk that valuation, Coisty? 75 million? It's a lot of money. I mean, he's a, good player. Fully fledged England international.
Oh, 100%, mate. 75 million. Far too much. Far too much. Good player. I like him. Hasn't shown any level of consistency in the league. I would say best form's been in the Champions League or certainly Europe. Would he be interested in going? You better believe he would. I mean, if you're Anthony Gordon, crikey, a move to Bayern Munich, why would you not?
But because you might not play every week.
I know, I get that. And I was just about to say, you look at it, I've got Musiala, Diaz, Guerrero, I mean, Elise, Harry Kane, Gnabry. He won't start. I mean, if Bayern Munich were playing PSG today and he was in that squad, he wouldn't start, right? He would not start. He would not start a must-win game for Bayern Munich.
You listen to Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, the wonderful Stuart Pearce alongside me in partnership with Giacomo Steiner Brands for every man. Still to come, we'll be joined by welterweight champion of the world, Dalton Smith. Just quickly, Rangers captain James Tavernier will leave the club after 11 years in the summer. And we talked about this yesterday. It was inevitable, wasn't it? Leicester have been relegated to League One after a 2-2 draw at home to Hull last night. By the way, Stuart Pearce just told me a story in the last break. I'm going to try and convince him to tell you before we come off air. All right? It was that funny a story. I think it should be shared with the world.
It's a unique story.
I've never heard of a story like that before in my life.
No.
Maybe between now and 7 you'll tell that story.
Yeah, it's very doubtful. I will, But
I'll get into it. Don't worry, everyone. Keep listening. Right, we're talking about Chelsea. What happens next? 03717223344. That is the number Sam, the Chelsea fan, has dialed. Hello, Sam.
Hi, guys. You all right? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Sam.
Stewing from the last couple of months' results. Can't lie. Last night was literally cherry on the cake. The lads who I actually thought turned up were Cucurella and Caicedo. I don't know where Rosenior got 4 players from, because from what I watched, those 2 were the only ones who got up for it. But I just wanted to touch on what you were saying, like regarding their long contracts and their high wages and that. Do these players genuinely believe that big clubs are going to be coming in for them in the summer as like a rescue mission?
Well, I think all players nowadays think that if it doesn't work out at their individual clubs, their agents will go out there and get them a move to somewhere else that's just as beneficial. But I've never thought that the psyche of players, it's good for any players to have contracts that are so vast. You're talking 5 and 7 years. It's quite incredible. You know what I mean? And I understand that the club are trying to operate as a business and tie players down so there's not freedom of contract. But when you consider you've got a squad of players at Chelsea that is so vast, you've got so many players out on loan and goodness knows what, it's almost impossible to sort of A, motivate them, and B, occupy them on a daily basis. You really only need, 22 is probably the optimum number that you need if you want an 11v11 game. You get any more than that on a training pitch, and you're just occupying players in the main. But did you go to the game yesterday, by the way?
No, I didn't. I watched it at home. It was one of the few away games I've missed this year.
Yeah.
To be fair, so I go most weeks, to be fair. But no, like the only reason why I ask is because in Rumour Mill, Fernandes, Delap, Garnacho, all like potentially being linked with moves away, regardless how true they are or not. Do they genuinely believe that big clubs are going to be coming after him? Like I laughed when Fernandes was, linked with Madrid, whether it was just that he wanted to go there or not. But it's like, you get the likes of Garnacho. He'd be lucky to get a mid-table Bundesliga side.
Yeah, I think they do think that they'll get decent moves. And the one thing you've got to say against Chelsea, if you could take 2 players out of their starting lineup to play against Brighton last night, it would be Palmer and João Pedro, and they were missing.
Yeah,
so obviously you got two of the better players missing from the lineup.
Thanks for your call. Let's go to Alan, also a Chelsea fan. Hi, Alan.
How you doing, Andy? You good?
I'm good, thank you for asking. How are you?
All good, mate.
I've been better with the recent results. I've been the butt of jokes at work and everything, but yeah, other than that, it's all good.
Yeah.
What
do you want to say?
I'm literally just waiting for Rosenior to come out in an interview and just start the David Brent from The Office in that scene where he starts his dance. Literally, he's that step away from being.
Is it all his fault?
But he's got to go.
Is it all his fault? I mean.
Yeah, he's not got the team. He's not got the team. He's not got no control over them. They're not listening to him. If they are, and he's doing the wrong tactic, obviously. If they're listening, if that's the tactic that he portrayed to the team, then he's obviously in the wrong. But either way, he's just not got it. He's not got it. He's way out of his depth. Fabregas in. That'll do me.
How do you see the game on Sunday go? Because that's a really important game, I think, for Chelsea this weekend.
Well, I'm a season ticket holder. And I have deliberately not bought the ticket for the semi-final game because I honestly don't think we're going to get through.
Wow.
I really don't.
If you get through to the final and you've got Man City or Southampton, but you've got Man City, will you go to that?
I'll go to that one. I'll go to the final just because it's a final with Chelsea and, but the semi-final, I've just got no faith in it. So I can't even see it going as far as Man City.
Doesn't that go against what supporters should be doing?
No, not really. We should boycott the board.
Okay.
We should do it. I mean, if the way they were having protests outside the ground the weekend, and instead of doing the protest, don't turn up, and then they'll stand up and think, oh my God, something's not right. Yeah.
Thanks for your call. The problem is with protests. Personally, I think the owners of clubs just don't even care about protests. I don't even dent anything.
No.
Do you?
No, I think you're right.
The only time I can ever remember a protest working is when the Liverpool fans protested about their ticket prices being hiked. They stayed away, and I think the following week, fair play to the owners, they come out and they put the prices back. It's the only time I can ever remember a protest working.
Yeah. I think when pressure goes on the owners and the board of directors, they panic. But the trouble is they panic by sacking the manager. That alleviates the pressure for a short period of time.
Well, it does. That's exactly what it does, yeah. Yeah. Still to come, we'll be joined by lightweight champion of the world, Dalton Smith, will be on our show. But first, it's time for a bit of no Googling. This is my question. I don't think anyone on the planet will get it. I wrote this at the weekend. All right? I don't think you'll get it, Stuart. When was the last FA Cup final to have 2 goal scorers share a name?
Oh.
You like that?
Yeah.
That's what I do on a Saturday afternoon, everyone. When was the last FA Cup final to have 2 goal scorers who share a name? I don't think anyone will get that.
Can you, off air, tell me what decade it is?
I can off air.
Okay.
I'll tell you that in a second.
Nice.
All right? No, actually, no.
No?
No. I show no favouritism on this show.
Okay.
Of course I'll tell you, Stuart. And the answer to that and more coming up. Live and Drive on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein. Stuart Pearce is here as well all afternoon. Make sure you are as well.
What about Forest? Last four of European competition, and they moved 5 points clear of the drop zone with that come-from-behind win against Burnley. But, of course, all the headlines are Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, look, he wasn't included in the 35-man squad for the last two England internationals. Yeah. There's been a bit of a clamour for him to be given a chance. Is it too late for him?
No, not at all. And a number of reasons. If he keeps continuing that form, but I mean, his hat-trick was excellent, particularly goals 2 and 3. I thought the header was superb. I thought the finish for number 2, the volley at the back post, was excellent as well, and a good finish for the first one. So it's a brilliant hat-trick. How many times have we said it, Jeff? Those two games, that 35-man squad ended up a good squad to miss, right? Yeah. It really did, because the games, and there was nothing in any of the games where you'd think, oh, he's done himself a lot of good. He's done himself, you know what I mean? Because in terms of the final squad for the Americas, I looked at it, I think there's 3 or 4 players actually in the squad have done themselves more damage than good. So, in answer to your question, Gibbs-White, no, I genuinely don't think it is too late. And I understand the clamour, not just from some of the Forest fans, for him to be in that squad.
Do you think he will be?
If I was going to be brutally honest, I don't think he will be, Jeff. No, I don't. But I can understand the case for him to be in it. And the only thing he can do is what he's doing right now. Scoring goals, play well and keep Forest in the top flight. And then you give Thomas Tuchel a real... That's all you can do, a real dilemma, or pose him a problem, or ask him a...
Is Chelsea's historically bad run of form already jeopardising Liam Rosenior's job? He's just 4 months into a 6-year contract, and it's our understanding Chelsea's board is discussing a plan of action. Here's our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook.
It was only a month ago that we were being told by sources at Chelsea that Liam Rosenior's position was safe, regardless of whether or not they qualified for the Champions League, that they wanted to give him a whole season in charge, the whole of next season, before making a judgment. That stance does seem to have changed.
It makes Sunday's trip to Wembley to face old foes Leeds, live on talkSPORT, potentially crucial in his Chelsea career. It's our understanding that several senior players are unimpressed with his tactics and training methods. Former Blue Emmanuel Petit says Rosenior doesn't have the experience to manage at this level.
He couldn't refuse the offer, No. But I said as soon as he came at Chelsea, the step was a little bit higher for him in terms of experience, you know. Yeah. You're coming into a mess, actually.
Tonight, Manchester City go away to Burnley. That's live on talkSPORT. They could go top of the table. Meanwhile, Leeds go away to Bournemouth. That one's live on talkSPORT too. Both matches kick off at 8. Elsewhere today, Everton have confirmed Jared Branthwaite will miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. James Tavernier has announced he'll leave Rangers at the end of the season. And Jude Bellingham says he owes it to the city of Birmingham to invest in their 100 franchise.
you like this, didn't you? Bit of Billy Irish.
Bit of Bill.
Yeah. Stuart, would you like to know the answer to the question that I wrote at the weekend?
I've shoved in a couple of Smith.
Hold on. The last FA Cup finals have 2 goal scorers who share a name. You gone for Smith, but you got to
or Sharp.
You got to tell me who. What Smiths? What Sharps?
That's as far as I got at the moment.
No.
What decade?
90s.
Oh. No, still no clearer.
Part of the answer's in this room.
Part of the answer's in this room?
Yeah. I mean, I've never played in an FA Cup final. That's 50% of the answer gone.
Right.
You have, though, right?
Yes.
All right. What's your name?
Pearce.
What's your first name?
Stuart.
Right. Who else scored in that cup final?
Paul Stewart. I see. Clever.
You like that?
Clever.
Oh, he's spelled differently. I know, but it's the same name. Stuart.
Same,
isn't it?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Indeed.
You like that? I bet no one got that. Still to come, we'll be asking if Nico O'Reilly's England's best left-back, or should start for England at the World Cup. But now let's turn our attention to a bit of boxing, because WBC light welterweight champion of the world, Dalton Smith, has signed a new deal at Matchroom ahead of his title defence in June. Let's get more on that now and chat all things boxing as we say hello and good afternoon to the champion of the world, who is Dalton Smith. Dalton, hello.
What's happening, lads? You all right?
Hi, all good.
We're good, very well. When you sign a new deal with Matchroom, do they just pepper you with lots and lots of money? Is that what happens from Eddie?
No, I just said to them I want lots and lots of money.
Oh, you haven't got that yet?
No, we need there's many more years to come.
Yeah, well, listen, we'll start with that. Congratulations on that new deal. Tell us a bit more about it, how pleased you are to continue under them. When did you have that conversation?
Yeah, so it's like, obviously I've been with Matchroom from the start, and I've always stated to them, loyalty is hard to get in boxing. Matchroom's always showed that to me. I've always showed that to them. So I've always said I wanted to start my career with them, and I'd love to finish it with Matchroom. So, may that journey continue with them.
I'm intrigued to know from yourself, how much contribution do you have in when these fights come up, and what is going to be Matchroom's decision, as in timings between the fights, that type of thing?
Yeah, so obviously it always goes on like camps, fights. It always goes down to the boxer. And obviously we just communicate with Matchroom and work out what's best for, the promotion, the boxer, and just see what's best for both sides, and then come to an agreement.
It has been, I'm just looking at it, it's been a great couple of months for you. This new deal follows you, of course, winning the world title in, what was it, I think January. Are you top of your game right now, would you say, Dalton?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not fully at my peak yet. I feel like there's a lot more to come. And like I said, I believe I'm just getting started. I've reached the pinnacle of boxing, but there's a lot more I want to go on to achieve. So, what the hunger's still there. There's a lot more I want to achieve. So we just keep going.
I'm always curious with boxers. You've had 24 fights. You've lost only one, right?
No, I'm 19-0.
19. Oh, no, your opponent's lost one. Your opponent's lost one, of course. I'm always curious with boxers, right, that when you go into a fight and you're fighting against someone who's already lost and you haven't, do you think mind games play a part of it? Does that play any part in the outcome, that he knows what it's like to be on his backside and you don't, do you think?
Not really, no. I don't tend to get invested in that. Maybe some fighters will, some won't, but I just try and simplify it a little bit. It's a fight at the end of the day, and there's going to be a winner and a loser, and I just need to make sure it's not me.
And when you're picking opponents, do you pick opponents that are ranked in regard to what's going to be beneficial to you, or do you pick them that's going to suit your style of boxing?
Yeah, boxing's a business, so you always fight someone on what makes sense. But I've always fought what I've needed to fight. I've never avoided anyone, and hence Puello, he's my mandatory, former 2-time world champion. And yeah, there's no hiding at the top. You've got to fight the best.
When you're world champion, is there more pressure on you to perform rather than just win? You need to entertain the crowd. Do you feel that?
There's always pressure, especially when you've got the pressures of, selling your own shows, headlining. There's always pressures in boxing, but it's what you allow, how you allow it to get to you. And like I said, that's why we're in the game, to be a part of those big nights. We want that pressure. We want everyone talking about us. And, I think it's down to the individual, the fighter, how they deal with it.
Yeah. You're 29 years old, right?
Yeah.
We know it's a tough game. Have you spoken? I don't know if you've got a partner or whatever, but do you speak to members of your family, people that are important in your life, and have a game plan as to how long you'll be in this sport? Because it is brutal. It can be brutal, right?
It is a brutal sport, and that's why I'm lucky. I've got my dad as my trainer, my coach, and he'll always tell me what's best. But I feel like I've not got many miles on the clock. I've not took many punishment. I've not took much punishment at all. Injuries, all good, and I think it's just all down to how your body is, how many miles you've got left on the clock. And I'm young, I'm fresh, I ain't got miles on the clock, and I'm a world champion with a lot more to give.
Yeah, you are very young in the sport. Dalton, have a listen to this. I mean, it's fair to say you're the biggest thing to come out of Sheffield right now, and another legend, of course, of the city is Prince Nassim Hamed. He was on the latest episode of Talk Boxing, and he continued his feud with Johnny Nelson. Both men, of course, trained out of Brendan Ingall's gym. Have a listen to this.
There was only ever one snake in that gym. Johnny needs to realise the truth about him and his career. And that is, without me coming from the same gym as him and opening the doors, Frank Warren said to me, listen, Naz, if he was fighting in my own back garden,
I'd pull the curtains.
I'd draw the curtains.
Yeah.
That's his exact words. He was supposed to be the entertainer. That was his ring, that was his fight name. Who did he ever entertain?
What do you make of that, Dalton?
Yeah, not much. Obviously, it's funny coming from Naz, but look, that's their beef. That's something I ain't really got a comment on. To me, they're Sheffield legends, the people I've looked up to, and I like to keep it that way. That's their business.
Yeah. Do you know Naz? Are you friends with him?
Since becoming a world champion, he rung me up,
wow.
sent me a message, and that was good. Same Johnny Nelson, they all reached out, gave the support, obviously said well done and stuff. So for me, that's an honour to get that call and the respect from those legends.
Do you see yourself now as a role model for Sheffield and the next generation of boxers coming through? Like, obviously Naz has come through that way, and yourself now.
Yeah, massively, and because I remember being that young kid, looking up to those guys. So I've got to remind myself I'm now that guy who people look up to. And as much as I don't like to see myself as some sort of celebrity or big time, I'm just a normal kid from Sheffield. But it's nice to know that kids look up to you.
Mm. Dalton, listen, thanks for coming on. Your next fight in June, right? And you alluded, or we both alluded to it earlier on, you're taking on a former two-time champion of the world. Tough fight, that one.
Yep. Tough fight, of course, but like I said, I'm in probably one of the hardest divisions in boxing.
Yeah.
I beat the guy who everybody avoided, and, on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one indeed. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Just a quick word, actually, while I've got you on. I was looking at Eddie Hearn's Instagram page yesterday. I've seen he's been working out for a few years now. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he's in some good nick, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. What do you make of that?
I think he's good. Obviously, like you said, time's moving on. He's getting older, so he's got to look after himself. So he's in some good nick.
Yeah. Did you tell him he was getting old when you signed that deal, or you forgot that bit?
No, I'll not tell him that.
No, okay.
I'll not tell him that. I'll tell him that after we've signed it.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, listen, Dalton, what a real pleasure. I'm so pleased you're champion of the world. Long may that continue. Yeah. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Dalton Smith, WBC light welterweight champion of the world.
Spoke well, didn't he?
Really well.
Yeah.
It must be so surreal becoming a boxer, training for many, many years, and then eventually becoming champion of the world. To hear yourself announce as that must be just mind-blowing, right?
Well, that journey, when you consider this is the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a big old... And I always think, jump jockeys, rugby league players and boxers, toughest professions
jump
of all the
jockeys?
sports. Oh!
Jump jockey?
On average, they get pile driven into the ground once every 10 rides, on average.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
at 30, 35 miles.
I suppose a horse's hoof
probably broke every bone in their body.
Yeah.
And they have to diet to keep their weight down. It's a horrible profession. Great profession, but horrible one.
Yeah.
Those three professions are the toughest there are.
What one would you rather be?
Wow.
You must have had a fight or two, Stuart.
No.
You must have thrown a punch.
No, honestly, I have...
You've never thrown a punch?
No.
Ever? In any capacity?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
Falling
so.
out with the team, mate?
Oh, yes.
No punches?
No. But listen, I wouldn't want to be a boxer. It's no way to earn a living, is it?
No.
You know what I mean? By
You wanna
someone
get punched
smashing you in the face.
You
I
don't
mean,
know.
you know, my respect goes out to them.
Yeah, me too. It's heavyweight season on DAZN on May the 9th. Don't blink as Fabio Wardley makes his first defence of his WBO heavyweight title against former IBF champion Danny Dubois in Manchester. That's going to be explosive. Then on May the 23rd, it's Glory and Giza as Usyk faces a Dutch kickboxing champion with the WBC heavyweight title up for grabs. Join DAZN Ultimate right now and get 12 plus pay-per-views a year, including Wardley against Dubois and Usyk against Rico at no extra cost.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Simon and I touched on this yesterday, but there are alarm bells ringing if they miss out on Champions League football, Chelsea, but more than that, if they miss out in Europe. Now, they produced the biggest loss ever in Premier League history, 262 million for 24-25. Tell me about the damage that could be inflicted on them if it results in no Champions League football, if it results in no European football at all.
Yeah, the Champions League thing is obviously a very, very significant issue for a club with their cost base and with their losses and their run rate losses. And they're telling people, they are telling everybody that is asking that they are operationally profitable right now, whatever that means. It seems to me that it can only mean that you have to strip out all of the player amortization, which is about 260 million quid this year. So sure, if you strip out one of the biggest lines in your P&L,
you can make that claim.
Then maybe you are operationally profitable. But to be frank, even then, it's a bit of a challenge going forward because they won't have the Club World Cup money. And if they drop out of the Champions League, obviously they'll also drop £80 million of UEFA prize money. It might be mitigated by a Europa Cup, maybe a Europa Cup final, which will give them, Spurs got 35 last year, so maybe 40. Can they still sell out the stadium in the Europa? Yeah, probably pretty close. So they'll probably still do 100 million quid match day if they're in Europe. The big issue they're going to have is if they fall into the conference. They've got a very, very challenging situation with the settlement agreement that they agreed with UEFA if they're not in the Champions League.
Drive talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, superstar Stuart Pearce alongside in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Still to come, we'll be asking if Nico O'Reilly's England's starting left back. Just quickly, Jude Bellingham has bought a 1.2% stake in cricket team Birmingham Phoenix. Did you read about that?
I did.
It's not got it here, but I'm led to believe it's about £800,000 he invested for 1.2%. Did you see that?
I did see it. To be fair, I'm pleased that he's investing into the community that he's come from and the sport that he loves. So I think it's a really good thing to do.
Kobe Mainu, has verbally agreed a new 5-year deal at Man United. Good work.
Put it this way, 3 months ago, he couldn't get a game.
Yeah.
He couldn't even hardly get on the bench.
I think it's down to me wearing the jumper, free Kobe.
Oh.
I wore that jumper.
Yeah. Okay.
And then since then, I don't want to take all of the plaudits for that, but, I might have had something to do with it, Stuart.
Well done you,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Don't go on about it. I get embarrassed. Time now for this.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Right, time now for today's bet builder with the friends of Paddy Power. Let's welcome Fern Buckley to the show. Buckers, how are you?
Hi, guys. I'm good. You're right.
Have you spoken to Stuart Pearce before?
Yeah, plenty of times.
All right, okay, don't show off. So have I.
We're mates.
You're looking very well. Thank you for coming on our show. You good?
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'm really good. I'm a super sub. I'm literally a walking, talking super sub today.
Why was that? You weren't booked in first?
Join the club.
No, but I've saved the day. Thank God.
Well, if I'm being honest, Stuart saved the day.
Yeah, I'm a sub as well.
Yeah, to be fair, he did.
Yeah, but you're both great. All right, equally as brilliant as each other.
I'll give it to Stuart. I'm happy to give that one up.
I'm not. He's talking down to us now. I'm telling you, that's exactly what he's doing.
Sure, I've always talked
belittling to us.
Yeah, right.
Because I definitely do that. Right, we're looking forward to tonight in the Premier League. Your team, Fern, Bournemouth,
I know.
They host Leeds at the Vitality. Remind everyone how the Bet Builder works and the charity that may benefit if we ever get one of these right.
Yeah, I think this could be one of them. We've all put some made some picks, put some bets down, added them together, got some overall value. Paddy Power put £10, hoping we get it right, because if we do, it is a charity bet. It helps out the Attitude Foundation.
Right, it's a 5-leg bet better. These are picks. I've gone for both teams to score.
Yeah, it's a bet that's come in for 3 of the last 5 fixtures between these two. And actually, it could be quite an interesting game, considering where they're both at with games at the moment, both averaging 2 goals per match and good goals at that as well. So both teams to score bet is in at 4-7.
Sure, what are you going for?
I think with Leeds got a semi-final coming up the weekend, might rotate a few players. I've gone Bournemouth to win.
Yes! Come on, absolutely right. It's been nice to be a fan at the moment in terms of game time and what's been happening. But they are unbeaten in 13 of their last league matches. And actually combine it with your bet, Andy, the last 3 wins of Bournemouth have been a 2-1 scoreline. So, both teams to score, but a Bournemouth to win. These two together are a nice bet, and that's in at 19-20.
Next up is producer Joe's running the marathon on Sunday. Still time to sponsor him. Joe, what's your charity? What website are you at? Instagram. Producer Joe TS, if you want to sponsor him. He's carrying a microwave for the whole journey. Wow. Evan Nilsson to have 1 or more shots on target.
Yeah, and he's always going to attempt something. He gets himself into those high-quality shooting positions. It's just more about seeing the goal through to the finish. So he's had 22 shots on target this season. 1 or more in this game is in at 2-5. He's a super sub as well. So if for any reason he comes off, Paddy Power is going to protect your bet.
Okay, next up, the people. They've gone for Ethan Ampadu to be shown a card. I was going to say a red or yellow card, but it's just a card.
Just a card, could be yellow, could be red. He's picked up his 8th booking of the season at United last week, was shown a yellow in the reverse fixture back in September as well. So the people think it is going to be a solid bet. That's at 12-5. Okay. And he's another super sub.
And last up is you. You've gone for Bournemouth to be relegated.
Oh, come on. We know that's not going to happen. Yeah.
What are you going for, Ferd?
I've gone for Alex Scott to get 1 or more shot on target. Across 30 starts, he's had 41 shots, so just over 1 per game. He's also been playing all 90 minutes at the moment, it's resulted in lots of shots on target. So that is in at 5-4.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. He's brilliant. Right, can you confirm the BetBuilder Insurance, the odds and the value of the charity bet one more time?
Yes, comes in at just under 25-1, which is nice. So from a £10 bet, you can get a return of 256 quid tonight. I'm feeling good about it. And if we do get it right, it goes to the Attitude Foundation.
Have we had one of these winners yet? Have we had one for a long time? I can't remember when we last won.
I think it was a New Year, wasn't it? And I think it was the day that you weren't actually on the Bet Builder. I think it was a Cundy bet and Benty bet.
Strange that, isn't it?
I think you should think again if you ever want to come back on this show.
Oh, I'll try.
You know what, Fern? All that changes tonight.
It does. Come on, we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right.
Knowingly. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for helping us out. Always a pleasure. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
See ya. That's Paddy Power's Bet Builder for today. Minimum ones 1 to 5 leg 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Are you watching any of the snooker, the World Snooker Championships on at the moment?
No, I don't follow snooker. I'm not.
Why not?
Not a snooker lover.
You're not a fan of it, or
No.
you've never been, or you never thought about it?
I like sports that have got a little bit of full contact on, rugby
Okay.
league, that type of thing, more so than snooker.
Have you ever played, as an ex-footballer, you must have played snooker?
Badly. I'm not very good at any sport apart from football, which I had to get good at by pure effort.
Are you any good with your right foot?
No, it's disastrous.
Is it really?
My right foot will be... There wouldn't be anyone in this building that's got a worse right foot than me. And I'm not exaggerating.
How bad? That's weird, isn't it? Are you left-handed?
When I was at primary school...
I love these,
When I was at primary school, I used to write left-handed, and in those days, if you were left-handed, they changed you over. So I write right-handed.
What? Hold on. What? Why would they do that?
They did.
What, 'cause
That's
it was
what
weird?
they did in the 60s.
How nuts
Yeah,
is that?
because they thought it was easier to be right-handed. So I am left-handed and left-footed by birth.
But you write with your right.
Changed over. So I write with my right. I play cricket and golf and everything with my left. I throw darts with my left. I can't. I'm like that. I'm so bad with my right hand, but I write. So I write right-handed, but do everything else left-handed.
Everything?
Everything.
Everything left-handed?
Well, the odd right-handed thing. You're pathetic, aren't you? Really?
I don't know where you're going with it, Stuart.
I don't know
where you're going with it.
I'm just
No,
making
I was thinking like shaking hands. That's exactly where I was going.
Right-handed.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Exactly. That's
All
what
right?
I said. So anyway, that's me. But they used to back in the day. They used to, if you were left-handed, they used to change you over, and they
That's
changed
so
me
weird,
to right.
isn't it?
My handwriting's not the best in the world because of that. I think.
Well, I mean, you're football. That's why you am right. It's terrible.
But my right foot is woeful. Brilliant with. I used to be really good with outside of my left foot, inside, fantastic, because I sort of compensated.
All right. That's good. See, we're learning. Every day's a school day. When we come back, hopefully that theme will continue. We'll learn from Stuart Pearce what he thinks will happen tonight, Burnley against Man City. It's a game, by the way, that's live and exclusive right here on talkSPORT. So that means, of course, a bit later on, we'll have team news ahead of it. Burnley and Man City chat when we come back with me, Andy Goldstein, and the left-hander of Stuart Pearce.
Of course, you've been working hard for once, and have worked out how many points City and Arsenal
Well,
will
I've got it all
finish on.
sorted. Just to clarify, put everybody's mind at rest. City next game, Burnley 3 points, Everton away a point, beg your pardon, Brentford home 3 points, Bournemouth away 1 point, Palace at home 3 points, Villa 3 points. That means they're going to get 14 points. Arsenal, Newcastle at home 3 points, Fulham at home 3 points, West Ham away 1 point, Burnley at home 3 points, Palace away 3 points. Arsenal are winning it by 2 points. Let's move on.
Arsenal winning it by 2 points.
Yes.
Just run through those again for me.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
City, go through the City. What you give City? 3v Burnley.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 at Everton.
All right. Okay.
3 at is it Brentford?
Yeah.
1 at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
3 at Palace and 3 at Villa.
14.
Yep.
And you give Arsenal
3 at Newcastle.
Yeah.
3 at Fulham.
Yeah.
1 at West Ham. 3 at Burnley and 3 at Palace.
Well, that's 13.
Correct. But remember, I've got a game in hand. Arsenal.
So you're saying City win it?
No. Remember, because City have played 1 game less.
Yes.
And they're 3 points behind.
Right. Okay, yeah. 60.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay. But you're giving... this is working well, isn't it?
I said to you, Ollie,
So
I
you're
said this is going to
giving-
be a disaster.
From their remaining 5 games, you are giving City 13 points. And, yeah, I see. And for the remaining 6 games... You're giving Arsenal 13 points and City 14 points. Okay.
Is Chelsea's historically bad run of form already jeopardising Liam Rosenior's job? He's just 4 months into a 6-year contract, and it's our understanding Chelsea's board is discussing a plan of action. Here's our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook.
It was only a month ago that we were being told by sources at Chelsea that Liam Rosenior's position was safe, regardless of whether or not they qualified for the Champions League, that they wanted to give him a whole season in charge, the whole of next season, before making a judgment. That stance does seem to have changed.
It makes Sunday's trip to Wembley to face old foes Leeds, live on talkSPORT, potentially crucial in his Chelsea career. It's our understanding that several senior players are unimpressed with his tactics and training methods. Former Blue Emmanuel Petit says Rosenior doesn't have the experience to manage at this level.
He couldn't refuse the offer,
No.
But I said as soon as he came at Chelsea, the step was a little bit higher for him in terms of experience, you know.
Yeah.
You're coming into a mess, actually.
Well, ahead of the semi-final this weekend, Leeds are in action this evening. They're going away to Bournemouth, live on talkSPORT 2. And Daniel Farke's not even thinking beyond tonight.
Nothing distracts us from this game. We know we are in a good moment, but we know we need to stay with the foot on the gas. So till early Thursday morning, once we're back here at Thorpe Arch, there's just one topic, Bournemouth, and we don't think 1% about Wembley.
Meanwhile, on talkSPORT, Manchester City aim to jump to the top of the Premier League table. They're away at Burnley, and Pep's keeping an eye on his squad after a draining weekend.
The recovery is much less than the last 2 weeks. It's just 2 days, so that's why you have to see how people recover, not just the demanding game that we had emotionally and physically. But at the same time, so we have 6 games left, so we know exactly what is going to happen when we get result, or just in case we don't get result.
Elsewhere today, Everton have confirmed Jarrad Branthwaite will miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. James Tavernier has announced he'll leave Rangers at the end of the season, and Jude Bellingham says he owes it to the city of Birmingham to invest in their 100 franchise.
Welcome back to our number 2 drive. talkSPORT, it's me, Andy Goldstein, and Stuart Pearce is here.
He's had a tug at him first off, and then he's had a nibble at him from behind.
What are you commentating on there?
The snooker, I think.
I think you were. Still to come, we'll be joined by former USA goalkeeper Brad Friedel with 50 days to go until the World Cup. But now there is a gigantic game in the title race tonight, and of course it's a game you can hear live right here on talkSPORT.
It's a huge victory for Manchester City. A potentially crushing blow for Arsenal.
So far they are better.
So we have to do it, but of course that victory gives us hopes.
It's not over, but it feels like a seismic shift in momentum in terms of the title race.
This title race is not even started yet. It starts after Wednesday. If we beat Burnley, that's when it starts.
And now there's only one question. What happens next?
City attacking again. Here's Haaland, edge of the area, shoots early!
City favourites now with the momentum, but there's still a lot of football to be played.
That was game over. It might also be game over for Burnley. Forest 4, Burnley 1.
Failure in this division is normally a relegation about individuals now, and in terms of what they want to bring.
It's a biggie, and we've got it. Man City go away to Burnley. It's live on talkSPORT tonight, knowing that a win will move them top of the league for the first time since the opening weekend of the season. And if that happens, it will also confirm Burnley's relegation back to the Championship. City boss Pep Guardiola has been speaking ahead of the game. He was asked how he gets his players to go again after the high of beating Arsenal on Sunday.
Yeah, we talk immediately in the dressing room after the game. Don't lose the focus. The focus is Arsenal is top of the league. Right now, in that moment, we'll be champion. And of course, the recovery is much less than the last 2 weeks. It's just 3 days, so that's why you have to see how people recover, not just the demanding game that we had emotionally and physically. But at the same time, so we have 6 games left, so we know exactly what is going to happen when we get result, or just in case we don't get result.
Arsenal fans will be desperate for anything but a Man City win. Can you see anything other than the Man City win tonight?
No, I can't. I think they've got momentum on their side, City, at the moment with this fella. Just listening to him, Pep, every time. The drive, the inner drive that he's got, I don't think he ever takes a backward step, which is incredible. It drives that team on. And I've got to mention, Bernardo Silva leaving the club. He's been my favourite player in the Premier League for the last couple of years. It's just incredible. Runs more than anyone. He passes the ball accurately. Just an incredible player. And a bit of me would like to see him maybe finish his career at City with certainly a couple of trophies.
Yeah, well, they could do a treble, right? 2 cups and
this is the incredible thing. They could do.
No one's talking about that.
No.
Very bizarre.
Amazing.
Who do you have winning the title then, as things currently stand?
You know what? I'm still edging on Arsenal because I think now I had a bet a couple of months ago with Jim Proudfoot. The bet was a bowl of profiteroles.
You've really gone big for it.
Big. And the bet was that Arsenal will win the league by 10 clear points, which was looking good.
Who said that? You?
Me. Which was looking good.
You had a drink before that?
Pre-Bournemouth game, where they could have gone 12 points clear at that stage. And they lost at home to Bournemouth, and everything has gone.
What surprised me about that is football.
Yeah.
And football's never as clear-cut as that.
I know.
Why did you...
I just fancied some profiteroles. You know what I mean?
Sometimes if the profiterole comes calling...
Exactly.
You've got to take that
I
bet.
couldn't turn it down.
No, you can't take that. No.
And I just keep getting texts from Jim saying stuff like yum yum and stuff like that. So he thinks he's cashed in already. Well, but I'm not paying up before. No chance.
Until it's factually...
Yeah. Till the fat ladies eating the profiteroles, basically. But I think the big game might be when City go to Bournemouth. I think that is one that people have looked at and thought, that is a tough place to go. Bournemouth are on great run at this moment in time. That could be a real tough game.
What about Arsenal? Got Newcastle, right?
At home. No, they're at home. Newcastle are having a bad time at the moment.
They are having a very bad time. I just feel with Arsenal, this after the Bournemouth result and after the Man City result, they're under so much pressure.
Yeah, they are. But the one thing that's changed now, the pressure's off Arsenal.
I don't think it is.
Come tonight.
Why is it off?
Well, because City go top tonight. So all of a sudden, City are the ones that are leading the pack. I think that might just play into Arsenal's hands slightly. Because every game over the last couple of months they've gone into, it's all about they've been the ones in front. Yeah. They've been the ones. City have been the ones chasing. That changes tonight, in my opinion, if City win.
What do you make of some of the things that Arteta does on the training field? If you're a player, would you buy into training with Sharpie pens and win the dog and pickpockets and light bulbs and speakers blaring out "You Never Walk Alone"? Do you buy into all of that? Were you at England with Stuart Pearce and Irene Drury?
No,
You weren't.
No.
What,
yes, I was in the squad, but I can't remember.
How would you have reacted to that if you went, I've got a little pain in my leg, and you went, go and see a faith healer? Would you buy into things like that?
Yeah, I would.
You would buy into
people think I won't, but I do. I mean, I had a psychologist come in and work with myself and the under-21 players.
But that's different. Psychologist is different, right?
That's what Eileen Jury was, as well as a faith healer. He was just a psychologist, I think. So, yeah, I'm not against it. Anything that I think might give my group an edge, I'm open-minded, I've got to say. I mean, I know people will probably prejudge and think, no, you don't. But if there's an asset there and it helps one person in your squad, like, I've always felt as I'm quite mentally strong within the group. If I don't need that help, fine.
But what about if that one person gets the help, but it's at the cost of 5 people laughing at that scenario? Like if one person goes running about in training with a Sharpie pen, really actually helped me, but the other 4 people are going, oh, Sharpie pen, what's he doing?
It's still help one person.
Yeah, but the other 4 sort of like, you've lost the 4.
If it takes away from the other 4, then you've got to balance it out.
Okay.
But in the main, I'm open-minded. I mean, to be fair, there's probably a lot of innovations that have come into the game that people thought, this is crazy.
Have you ever had that before? So Bentley told me when he was at when he was at Fulham, Felix Magath treated groin injuries with cheese. He put cheese on it, not eating it.
Yeah.
If you had a problem, you put some Edam on your calf. I'm not joking, by the way. Have you ever had anything mad like that at a club?
All I can tell you is this: I love cheese. That's all I can tell you. I'm a big cheese lover.
Do you have
and
nightmares about it?
What did he used to do with that cheese afterwards? Because
that's a very good
I wouldn't want him to waste food.
No, I think he had the sandwich.
Yeah. Some people say he's crackers.
Oh, very good. Some people might say that's a bit cheesy.
Hey.
Listen, let's talk about Nico O'Reilly. He scored 2 in the Carabao Cup final. Was brilliant, absolutely brilliant against Arsenal on Sunday. How highly do you rate him? Is he England's starting left back for you at the World Cup?
Today, yes, is the answer to your question. I've just put a couple of names down. Obviously, Hall was doing particularly well, and he's lost a little bit of form recently.
Yeah.
We've played, I thought Spence in the last international, Spence played okay, but being a right footer playing left back, I'm not a lover of. I wouldn't write off Luke Shaw, to be fair. I still wouldn't write him off because I think he's playing reasonably well backing for United. He's got tournament experience. He's never let England down at tournaments and knows what it's like. And you can also slide him inside one and play him at centre-half as well, which is a real bonus. But O'Reilly's your man at the moment.
Okay. Am I right in saying you played right back for England?
Once as a sub.
Didn't you?
Against Romania.
Who was left back?
Well, I come on as sub. The right back got injured late in the game.
Oh, I see.
And Terry said to me, can you play right back? I said, yeah,
Venables?
no problem, yeah. Even though I'd never played there before in my life, I thought, I'm not turning a cap down.
No. Is it a big difference?
Oh, yeah. For me, it was. Really big.
Okay, go on, why?
Well, because I'm so left-footed.
Yeah.
Ridiculously left-footed. So anything on my right-hand side, I literally would struggle badly. And I was asked, I'd done a podcast the other day, and someone said, what's the most embarrassing moment on a football pitch? I said, I played at Plough Lane once against Wimbledon, and I've run across the cover, across the pitch, and run sort of into the corner flag in the right back position. And I thought, I've got no other choice here. Normally I get the outside of my left foot around. I had no other choice but to swing my right foot. I've kicked the ground probably about 8 inches in front of the ball. And the ball just carried on rolling and went out of play. And I went face first straight into the cinder track on the side of the pitch. That was...
Wow, you really are left-footed, aren't you?
Woeful. I've scored a goal in the FA Cup semi-final with my right foot against West Ham, but I've had a swing at it aiming for that corner and it went in the other corner.
Would I know watching it that you've got that completely wrong? Or does it look like you've aimed for the other corner?
It looked as though I've sort of swept it, but I knew where I was aiming.
So do we now. Just quickly, Noel Gallagher was on our show this week. He said that O'Reilly could win Young Player of the Year and the main Player of the Year award.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Young Player of the Year, definitely?
Young, definitely.
Yeah.
The young. Old Player of the Year, I'm looking
at...
Slobber old. Fernandes at Man United's done brilliant.
I agree.
Slobberslai at Liverpool's done brilliant. Raya, magnificent at Arsenal. Gabriel's been brilliant at Arsenal. And Declan Rice. There's 5 off the top of my head that are ahead of O'Reilly, in my opinion.
What about your man, Silva?
I don't think he's done well enough to be in the speaking for that, but what he's done for City, I mean, the amount of games he plays, he always plays. Pep never leaves him out. He doesn't seem to. You know what I mean? That tells you something.
Okay. We'll take your calls. What will the score be tonight, by the way? A game that's live on talkSPORT, Burnley against Man City. What will the score be, Stuart?
0-2 to City.
Okay. Man City fans and Burnley fans, you could get relegated. I mean, listen, you know you're down, but it could happen tonight. So Burnley and Man City fans, you can have your say on that. And also, is Nico O'Reilly England's starting left back? Lots to talk about. You can talk to Stuart Pearce if you pick up the phone and dial 03717223344. And if you do that, there's every chance you'll be next live on Drive on talkSPORT.
Seen Arsenal. Nicola touches fire. Be fire. The other with never been with the dog. Don't give a favour, Mike Keogh. Who's this demise? What does that mean? Demise, can you hear me? You're supposed to win hell of a beat. The quadruple. The treble. The treble. The double. Hybrid. Richard Cripps FC. Set piece FC. Can you hear me? Set piece FC. You're supposed to win hell. Never been Galasaurus. Here's Morgan. Can you hear me? Greatest club side in the world. You're supposed to win hell of a beat in Matt Lucas OBE. Sharpie, Ben. Can you hear me, Sharpie? Can you hear me, Sharpie? You're supposed to win hell of a beating. Lost London forever. Can you hear me? Lost and never. You're supposed to win hell of a beating.
What a weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal have gone and bottled it again. The gin that keeps on giving. Arteta's fire wasn't enough to get anything at the Etihad. Man City now have the chance to go top on Wednesday. That game's live on talkSPORT. Give us a call. Arsenal fans, have you bottled it? 03 717 223344. Elsewhere tonight, West Ham, they failed to take advantage of Spurs dropping points. De Zerbi, though, he got his first point in charge at Spurs. It was my wedding day, and I cannot believe what Kevin Danso is doing in the 95th minute.
Driver Talk Sport, it's me, Andy Goldstein. Stuart Pearce is here in partnership with Giacomo Steiner Brands for every man. Still to come, we joined by former USA goalkeeper Brad Friedel with 50 days to go until the World Cup. In case you're just about to turn the radio off, maybe you finished the cooking in your kitchen or you're getting out the car after a journey, just stay where, just keep the radio on. That's all I'm allowed to say at the moment. Just keep the radio on. We will have some breaking news in a sec. That's all I can say. Stay where you are with TalkSport. Do not turn TalkSport off. While we are waiting for confirmation, so I can give you that breaking news, we are talking about Man City. They play Burnley tonight. It's live on TalkSport. Oh, we'll talk calls in a minute because I'm delighted to say that we can break you that news. Some big breaking news tonight here at TalkSport. Let's bring in our reporter, Ben Jacobs, who can tell us more. Ben, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Yeah, the big news is that Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses in which Chelsea didn't score a single goal. That's their worst record since 1912. Now, Chelsea would have preferred Rosenior to stay and be judged in years rather than weeks, but it simply wasn't possible. And as a consequence, a mid-season change is needed. Even though Rosenior only got the job in January, what I can tell you is that the players have already been informed. They were off today, and Callum McFarland will take charge of the team until the end of the season on an interim basis. And that includes the weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds United at Wembley. And then Chelsea in the summer will do a thorough process to replace Rosenior, but they're going to take their time with that. So Rosenior sacked after that loss to Brighton, arguably Chelsea's worst performance in many, many years. And it is an interim manager in Callum McFarland to take charge until the end of the season.
Ben, firstly, well done on breaking the news. I'm looking at all the other media outlets. We've got it before everyone, so I really appreciate you telling TalkSport first. Why the big change of heart? Because it wasn't that long ago the owners came out and almost confirmed the fact that they were going to stick with their manager, and they see him in that position for a long, long time. Why all of a sudden is it the change of heart? Is it the performance? Is it the result last night?
It's a results-driven business, and I also think that there was an issue with the dressing room too. Obviously, Chelsea are really keen to show their respect for Liam Rosenior, and we have to note that that's their position. But this was a project manager that they knew well from his time at Strasbourg, and it hasn't worked almost since day one, after a few early wins since game week 26, which is 9 games ago in the Premier League. Chelsea are second bottom in the form table behind only Tottenham Hotspur. Several players were confused by the tactical identity of the club. You had the Enzo Fernandez situation where he was flirting with a move to Real Madrid, and yet he's the vice captain of the football club and effectively on the field, the captain of the football club because Reece James is injured. Mark Cucurella spoke damningly about the project. And make no mistake, with protests against Blueco and the sporting directors, the fan base won't see this as only a Rosenior problem. But the players like Enzo Maresca, several senior names didn't want a mid-season change. They didn't buy into Rosenior's methods. And then, of course, it's one thing saying he's going to get time in a summer window and be reviewed in summer 2027, which was the original plan when he joined the football club. But all that can change when you don't win football matches and you lose some senior players. And both of those things have happened over the course of the last few weeks.
Ben, I'm reading on social media lots of rumours. Let me just stress these are rumours, but the name that I keep seeing on social media, again, rumours, in case people are turning on their radio now, Julian Nagelsmann's name has been mentioned quite a lot. Any truth in that? Are you hearing the same name or not?
Chelsea's position is they haven't actually reached out to any candidates, so this is going to be a more thorough process than people think. But it wouldn't remotely surprise me if they go for somebody with a more experienced CV than Rosenior. Even Enzo Maresca, when he joined Chelsea, remember, was at Leicester City. He won promotion to the Premier League with them, and he'd worked under Pep Guardiola, but not the same in terms of his CV at arrival compared to, say, a Julian Nagelsmann. And I think Chelsea's direction of travel will be to go to a coach with a more proven CV at the time of joining, but also potentially having that potential too. Nagelsmann links come from the fact that Chelsea, before they hired Maurizio Pochettino, interviewed Julian Nagelsmann, and there was certainly appreciation for his philosophy. And yet, ironically, Chelsea felt that their thorough process was not something that Nagelsmann wanted to partake in. His position was clear. You offer me the job, or if you're going to keep me waiting, I'm going to go elsewhere. Now he's got the World Cup and he's contracted through this World Cup. So let's see whether Chelsea revisit Nagelsmann. There is some appreciation for him, but nothing moving at this stage. I think we also need to look at Edin Terzic, Andoni Iraola. In the past, names like Francesco Farioli and Philip Luis have both been linked to. So the beauty for Chelsea is come summer, there'll be a lot of names available, but I think their mantra this time will be to go along the lines of someone with a proven CV rather than necessarily only investing in managerial potential.
Ben, tremendous work as always. Thank you so much for breaking that news before anyone else on the planet. Thanks, pal.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. That was talkSPORT's reporter Ben Jacobs breaking that news, as I said before, any other media outlet that Chelsea have sacked Liam Rosenior. Stuart Pearce, your reaction to that? We started the show talking about Chelsea, and we questioned just how big the game at the weekend is against Leeds, live, by the way, on Sunday on talkSPORT. We thought that might be the reason why he will get sacked if they didn't get to Wembley or Wembley again for the cup final. Are you surprised they've pulled the trigger now?
Having watched that performance last night, probably not, I've got to say, on the run of form that Chelsea have been on. What surprised me is they've not made an appointment or going to make an appointment that might just get them European football and a tilt at the FA Cup. I'm not sure. They've almost said like a semi-stopgap scenario, and we're going to reassess in the summer. By the time the summer comes, Chelsea might not be playing in Europe next year, and I don't know how that would affect a potential manager coming through the door that would want European football on his season.
Champions League football for Chelsea, the money it brings is absolutely huge to that club. They have to have it.
Exactly. And just European football looks as though it might be under threat now, let alone I don't think it'll get anywhere near Champions League.
Okay. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce. If you're just turning on the radio for the first time, maybe you're unaware that Chelsea have sacked Liam Rosenior. We brought you that news before any other media outlet. That is why you keep listening to talkSPORT. And another reason why you listen to talkSPORT is so you can have your say on all of the big stories. This one of the biggest, certainly this week. 03717 223344. Chelsea fans, pick up the phone on the news that your club, Chelsea, have sacked Liam Rosenior. We'll take your calls, of course we will, between now and 7 p.m. I don't know where West Ham's next win will be. I don't know where Spurs is will be. But if Spurs beat Wolves, which is the easiest game out of all the fixtures combined, I wouldn't put my house on West Ham beating Everton, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle or Leeds. And if Spurs beat Wolves, West Ham are going to have to beat one of those teams. Or get a few draws, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't see that happening. So now I'm sort of, I don't really know where my money is as to who's going down now.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought, and I've said to you before, I thought Spurs would survive. I just think they've got a bit more about them. I know they haven't won a game in 2026, a league game, but it probably was a little bit of a missed opportunity last night. To be fair, it could have got a lot worse because they had chances. When Brennan Johnson's header, he probably should have done a lot better with that. Yeah. Goal obviously ruled out, rightly so, with the handball. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for West Ham. I mean, they're both playing at the same time, which is quite interesting at the weekend. So at least there's not one almost. Oh my goodness, they've won.
Neither on telly, right? They're both Saturday afternoon.
Both 3 o'clock. So
I can't remember. You got that stick, haven't you?
What stick?
Huh?
What stick?
So you can watch games?
No, I haven't got no stick.
I thought you got Premier League TV.
Yeah, code, not stick.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Sorry, Darren.
Use the word code, please.
I meant code.
Yeah, it's it's going to be fascinating. But yeah, I think West Ham will see it as an opportunity missed. But I said yesterday when we were predicting scores, for me, it just had draw written all over it. Palace, I know maybe, obviously, after getting through in the Europe and going back home and making changes, Palace at home were just quite hard to play against, quite solid, quite rigid in their shape as well. Got players hit you on the counter-attack, can defend deep if they have to. And I think one thing that West Ham, I know they've been in a little bit of better form, they lack creativity. And I think with Somerville and Bowen, probably Bowen, one of his more quieter games, you'd probably say.
Yeah.
But they have to, either way, Spurs or West Ham, they're going to have to do it the hard way.
Is Chelsea's historically bad run of form already jeopardising Liam Rosenior's job? He's just 4 months into a 6-year contract, and it's our understanding Chelsea's board is discussing a plan of action. Here's our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook.
It was only a month ago that we were being told by sources at Chelsea that Liam Rosenior's position was safe, regardless of whether or not they qualified for the Champions League, that they wanted to give him a whole season in charge, the whole of next season, before making a judgment. That stance does seem to have changed.
It makes Sunday's trip to Wembley to face old foes Leeds, live on talkSPORT, potentially crucial in his Chelsea career. It's our understanding that several senior players are unimpressed with his tactics and training methods. Former Blue Emmanuel Petit says Rosenior doesn't have the experience to manage at this level.
He couldn't refuse the offer,
No.
But I said as soon as he came at Chelsea, the step was a little bit higher for him in terms of experience, you know.
Yeah.
You're coming into a mess, actually.
Tonight, Manchester City go away to Burnley. That's live on talkSPORT. They could go top of the table. Meanwhile, Leeds go away to Bournemouth. That one's live on talkSPORT too. Both matches kick off at 8. Elsewhere today, Everton have confirmed Jarrad Branthwaite will miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. James Tavernier has announced he'll leave Rangers at the end of the season. And Jude Bellingham says he owes it to the city of Birmingham to invest in their 100 franchise.
I'd love to say what Stuart Pearce was putting on his groin. Mini cheddars.
Mini cheddars.
Mini cheddars. Don't ask why. It's your drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce alongside. Still to come and have some fun with the best of talkSPORT. But of course, that breaking news this evening, we broke it before anyone on the planet right here on talkSPORT, as we always do. Chelsea Football Club have sacked their head coach, Liam Rosenior. He has lost his last 5 Premier League matches on the bounce, with Callum McFarlane taking charge of the team as interim head coach until the end of the season. I would imagine every single Chelsea fan is over the moon. Let's find out. Reg is first up. Hello, Reg.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm great. How are you?
I am over the moon right now.
There you go. There you go. Did you think it would happen this quickly?
If I'm honest, I thought they'd give him the Leeds game. I thought they'd give him the Leeds game, see how he gets on, and if he gets FA Cup, then maybe try and save himself. But yeah. I cannot complain what they've done.
You know what's insane, right? Before he got sacked, like this morning, if you'd have asked me who's going to go through in that Cup semi-final, every day of the week I'd say Leeds. Now he's gone. 100%. Now he's gone. I'm like, actually, I'll give you I'll give you more chance than ever before. It's very bizarre. I mean, if I feel like that and I'm not part of the squad, I'm guessing the players are going to feel like that, right?
Well, I hope they do, because we really do need to get something this season. We're obviously not going to get Champions League, so like FA Cup is our only chance really at getting European football, I think.
Does part of you feel sorry for him that he's been put into that position, maybe before the experience that he's gained as a coach allowed him to be?
If I'm honest, I do. Like, I think a lot of the blame does go to the owners. I'd say probably 80% goes to the owners, 10% to him, 10% to the players. Like, they have really messed it up. They came in when we had just won the Champions League. We had Thomas Tuchel, who I think is an unbelievable manager. We still sing about him now. And then they got rid of him, and then went for a few, and then we got Enzo Maresca, who I think we should have stuck with. And I think we've really messed up what we had.
Yeah.
So
who do you want?
Who do I want?
Would you take Andoni Iraola? Would you take him?
Yeah, of course I would. I think after watching Liam Messina for however long, I'd definitely take him. But I would also want us to get on our knees and beg for Maresca to come back, or Tuchel. But I don't see that happening.
No, I think Tuchel's got bigger fish to fry this summer. Thanks for your call. Just before I go to Tom, the Chelsea fan, Frank Lampard just won the championship with Coventry. Do you think if they knocked on his door, he'd entertain that or not?
Whether he'd entertain it now, I'm not overly sure. But I think sometime in the future, if he continues to on the upward curve that he's doing at the time, his history with the club, it wouldn't surprise me if Frank went back into Chelsea.
Okay. You see Jose ever going back for a third time?
That wouldn't surprise me either.
Some big names.
I think he'd love to go back in.
Yeah, I wonder if the fans would. Tom is a Chelsea fan. Hello, Tom.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
We're good, man. I'm guessing you're on cloud nine, right?
I mean, it's a weird one because it's like, yeah, I'm happy he's gone, but I'm sad at the state that my club is in. I'm also sad for Rosenior because for his flaws, nice guy, but nice guys don't always win games.
Do you feel as though the club have maybe thrown him under a bus a bit?
There's a little bit of that, but I think I look at the directors with Stanley and Stuart a lot more than I do Rosenior. He had to work with what he had to work with, but I actually called. I was on hold when the news broke to ask Pearce, like, because I listened to the comms last night. Pearce was on it, and I was like, do you think it was more the case the players down in tools or the tactics, particularly for the first half? And then obviously you break the news, and I'm here like, oh, well, I'm on when that came through, so that was interesting.
I think to answer your question about last night, I think the tactical approach, the way the team were lined up, certainly didn't help in the first half. I think they got overloaded down the down Chelsea's left-hand side, Brighton's right. That was really hurtful to them. But as I say, there's part of me thinks, that Chelsea have put someone in post that probably needed a bit more experience in that sort of criteria, in that dressing room. And the players, I tell you what, I hope the players are not pleased with their contribution to this because they've played their part in it. Players coming off, being substituted and sort of disrespecting the coaching staff and manager, that is not helpful in any way, shape or form. And from Chelsea's point of view, do you think you're going to get European football this year, or do you think you'll drop away from that at this moment?
I think we probably end up playing the Europa League next year. Europa Conference League next year.
Wow.
By virtue of other people doing other things.
Yeah.
So I genuinely think Villa will win the Europa League.
Yeah.
Therefore, they get no automatic spot in the Champions League. So everything drops down one.
Yeah.
And because City are already in the Champions League, I think City win the league. I think they win the league. So therefore, they'll have the Champions League. If they win the FA Cup, that spot then becomes vacant. And I think we win it by virtue of us not doing well and other people doing well, and it just falls into us, I think. Minimum, I think, is Europa League, Europa Conference League, I think.
Okay, Tom, thanks for that. Let's take as many as we can. Burns, a Chelsea fan, reacting to the news. If you're just turning on your radio, Chelsea have sacked head coach Liam Rosenior. Hello, Burn. How are you? Good afternoon.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you today?
Yeah, all good. A bit disappointed about last night.
Yeah.
It was a poor performance. The last time I've seen Chelsea play that bad, Stuart, you're going to love this. Back in the old second division, Chelsea 2, Forest 6.
Yeah, that was a good game. We also dipped Chelsea 7-0 at the City Ground, actually.
But you forgot that one.
Don't tell me.
Oh, it's all right.
I went to both, but we played better there than what we did at Stamford Bridge.
Can I ask how old you are, Byrne?
Yeah, I was 65. I've supported Chelsea since 67.
Okay.
1967.
So you've seen your fair share of Chelsea managers. Where did, because he's not there anymore, where did this one rank, Liam Rosenior?
He was put in place, sadly, like I've done time in the army. You'll get a first lieutenant come in, got no experience. Oh, he messes up, he's gone. But it's nice to hear some of the comments coming through from the people that have been talking about the players as well. Yes, it's Blue Coat. Yes, it's the manager, but it's also the players. They ain't playing. They're not playing for the manager. They're not playing for the club, and they certainly ain't playing for the supporters that follow them everywhere.
Okay, Byrne, thanks for your call. Let's go to Adam, also a Chelsea fan. Adam?
How we doing, lad?
Yeah, okay, man. How are you? What'd you make of the news?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm a bit gutted Benty ain't here, yeah? Because I rang up when Rosenior just got appointed. And I said he ain't going to last till Christmas. I gave him a bit too much time, and Bentley, he's like giving it you're embarrassing and all that. I wanted him to do well. Of course I did. It's my club. But this was written in the stars. Buko threw him in well out of his depth.
Yeah.
Well out of his depth. It takes a certain character to manage Chelsea, and yeah, I just don't know what they're doing.
Do you think this just underlines just how much of a mess your club's in at the moment?
Oh, it's mental. I just don't recognise it anymore. Do not recognise it. Like it's just a merry-go-round, isn't it? Oh, let's appoint this one, and the next season we'll do the same thing, sack him, and we go back to Europa Conference. It's just this non-stop. We're meant to be like 3 or 4 years into this project now, and we'll be going backwards. It's mental. I just think they got too bigger egos to get someone in who has got his own opinion about players and things like that.
It is bizarre to think that the year before Todd Bowley and co bought Chelsea, the year before you were champions of Europe, and now you're fighting to be top 10 in the Premier League. That is insane.
I never understood how they called this the project when they bought us. We just won the Champions League. What project? Yeah. Oh, it's a long project, 7-year project. From where? We just won the Champions League. They just baffle me, mate. I'd have Super Frank back though any day of the week. Yeah, okay. He's more than welcome back.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
I think as well.
Thanks, Dan.
You know, people vilified Liam Rosenior for sort of catchwords in some of his interviews. There's a catchword at boardroom level. It's called project.
I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they keep using it. And that caller, Adam, why did you need a project? They were champions of Europe.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Just maintain it. Yeah. That's your project. Yeah. Maintain.
Yeah.
Breaking news here on talkSPORT. We broke it before anyone else in the media world. Chelsea have sacked Liam Rosenior. We've taken calls. We'll carry on taking them as well. 03717 223344. In fact, when we come back, Brad Friedel will be joining us ahead of 50 days from today to the start of the World Cup. So we'll chat to him about that breaking news that Liam Rosenior has been sacked as Chelsea manager.
Arsenal have been reeled back in.
They are the title in the hands for months and months. And 3 weeks ago, they had 10 points. It's not losing against City, as we said. You know, it's not losing against City that annoy me the most because there is no shame of losing against City. But it's the game before that, Bournemouth. You know, when you lose the 3 points at home, the way they played, I watched the game. I was so. I'm not going to say the word on the radio because, but you understand what I mean.
It was flat, wasn't it? It was flat.
Yes. No desire. I think they had no idea what's going on the pitch, and I think they didn't understand exactly what it takes, you know, to win the Premier League, especially when you have to fight against City. This team is amazing. You know, they're acting like as a champion every single season. So
did you say that you don't think some of these players know what it takes to win the Premier League? What's involved in winning it? How you win it?
Have you seen the game against Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah.
Honestly,
there was no urgency. It was strange. I mean,
no energy, no creativity, no desire. I mean, guys, you're fighting for the title. You know that if you win that game, it doesn't matter if you lose against City and the game is the hand as well. You still have 3 points. Come on, guys.
Driver talkSPORT, it's me, Andy Goldstein, the ledge that is Stuart Pearce is alongside me in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Still to come, we're asking if Bruno Fernandes could be in with a shout to win the Ballon d'Or. Just quickly, in case you're turning on your radio for the first time, Chelsea have sacked Rosenior after just 107 days in charge. We broke that news before anyone else in the world, actually. About 20 minutes ago, Rosenior lost his last 5 Premier League games in a row. Callum McFarlane will take charge of the team until the end of the season. That, of course, includes this Sunday's FA Cup semi-final, a game you can hear live on talkSPORT. They take on Leeds United. In fact, we'll get more of your calls in from 6 o'clock here on Drive. But first, today marks 50 days until the start of the World Cup in the USA, Mexico and Canada. talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2 will have live commentary of every single game across the biggest World Cup ever. And today we're delighted to be joined by a former USA goalkeeper, big part of talkSPORT's brilliant coverage this summer, and our friend, as we say hello and good evening to Brad Friedel. Hello, Brad.
Andy, how are you? Stuart, how are you?
Mate. We're good, man. How are you? You look well. You all right?
Long time. Very good. Very good.
Good. Yeah, I haven't spoken to you, I don't think, since we were with you and we went out for dinner with you. You came on our show when we went over to the States not too long ago.
New York.
Yes, good to catch up with you again.
Yes, you too. You've been hiding from me.
I've been here every single day waiting for you to come on our show, and now we've got you. Listen, I'll be honest, when we knew you were coming on, we weren't going to talk about Premier League football too much. It was just going to be about the World Cup fast approaching, which we'll get to in a minute, but we have to get your view on that breaking news that Chelsea have sacked Rosenior. What have you made of that, Brad? Were you surprised or not by that decision?
I mean, I think with Chelsea, Andy, it's more like nightly news now, isn't it? When the manager changes. After 5 games, losing, not scoring, it doesn't surprise me, especially at Chelsea. They seem to be another club, along with one of my old clubs, Tottenham, that have some issues off the field that they need to repair before they can actually get something solidified on the field. So, unfortunately, no, it did not surprise me.
Were you surprised when he got the job?
No, that didn't surprise me. I think they tried to hire internally, and I think he did a very, very good job at Strasbourg. They were playing some very good football, and thought maybe that he could come into Chelsea and work under their system, and had a good relationship with the ownership group. So that didn't surprise me a lot. Turnover of managers at football clubs always creates chaos, and so this is just more chaos. Maybe there were some players that fell out with Liam. I don't really know. But we'll see with the effort that they put out in the next match. I mean, the match against and Brighton was not a good showing for a club like Chelsea, and they have better players. The players themselves are better than what they showed against Brighton, and I think it was just going down the wrong side of the hill.
Where do you think Liam will go next, mate? I know it's a difficult judgment call. Do you think his reputation has been tarnished, or what he's done at Strasbourg before will stand him in good stead?
I think his reputation will still be okay. I don't know about another Premier League club. His reputation in Europe is very good. His reputation in France is very good. I think there'll be a lot of championship clubs that are looking to promote that. His reputation will be very good. This is his first, what do you want to say, slip up as a manager. But I think as time will tell, there's going to be many more managers that go into Chelsea that aren't successful unless they correct things on how the clubs run. And he's put into a boat right now where there are very good managers that have also been fired from the club. So I think right now it's okay. Look at what we use the Frank Lampard case in point. He went to Coventry, took him over when I think they were in 17th position or 12th position, something like that, and they just promoted. And now Frank Lampard's stock is up, and he's a Premier League manager again. So I could see something like that happening with Liam.
Okay. Listen, we'll carry on taking calls, by the way, gang, about Liam Rosenior being sacked. 03717222334. We'll do that from 6. Why we've got you, and the main reason we've got you on, Brad, is, of course, to look ahead to the World Cup. Just 50 days to go now. It's not been great for your country, the USA. They lost both their games in the last international break against Portugal and Belgium. What's the spirit like ahead of a World Cup? Do you think those games count towards form? Do they mean too much, or is it a fresh start when a World Cup starts?
The spirit within the camp, you mean, within the squad?
Yeah, or even the fans out in America.
Well, the American fans don't even know World Cup's going to happen until the event starts. That's like every event in the United States.
Okay.
I think it'll be a great event once it's here. But I'm in Denver, Colorado today, and you would have no idea that in 50 days' time a World Cup is starting. The squad, I think they were on pretty good. A pretty good level of hope and getting the characters into the team before this last camp. This last camp, I think, threw them a little bit. They played a very good Belgian side and a very good Portuguese side. Mauricio Pochettino opted to play Matt Turner in goal in the first game, and Matt Freese, who had played, I think, 12 previous before then, and they shifted 5 goals against them. And the first half performance actually wasn't too bad. In that game, Lamans made a couple of good saves as well, but the second half wasn't great. Portuguese game was a bit more competitive, but I think they left the camp a little bit dejected, and it's now up to Mauricio to get the final squad together. Obviously, they played Germany and Senegal, two very good opponents going into the World Cup. So I think they were hit a little bit. I think a lot of the critics came back out of the woodwork against some individual players. I think Tim Ream took some individual individual hits from some ex-players over here that I think went way over the top. I think Tim's been a great player for the United States over the years, and I think he can add a lot of leadership within the group, which you need in a World Cup. Stuart will know this. You need some old wise heads. Whether he plays every minute or not is another story. But I think this team selection now, the squad selection, is going to be really important because he's going to have to pick some players, and this is Mauricio, obviously, that are coming in with confidence. And it's with the United States, it's the same as it's been since all the way back to 1994 for us. We have a competitive group of players. We have some very good players, but if our top players aren't fit and they aren't on top form, we'll struggle to win games. So it's really important. Chris Richards is fit. He's so important to us. And Anthony Robinson, left back, so important to us. Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie, both of them. Christian Pulisic has been out of form for many months now, so it's important that he finds his form and very quickly for us. It's been good to see Balogun has had a good season with his club, but he has to produce that in the World Cup for us. But if these players that I just mentioned aren't fit and in form, it'll be hard for us. So I think we'll get out of the group, but I think it'll be hard to, let's say we get matched up with Spain, or we get matched up with Belgium, we get matched up with France. All these teams, they're better than us individually, pretty much in any position. So we have to, one, hope that they drop their level a little bit, and two, that with the crowd and we can play an incredible game, and maybe the goalkeeper has a great game, and we can win, we can be competitive, but we're not going to outplay these teams. So it's important that we're full of spirit by the time and full of confidence by the time the World Cup kicks off.
Brad, we lost you there. Can you just repeat all that? No, I'm only joking. Brad, listen, it's a wonderful answer. Sadly, we have no time for any more questions, but it's always a pleasure catching up with you, and we will do that again in the next week or two with just 50 days to go to the start of the World Cup. All very excited. Brad Friedel, thanks for your time, pal. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks,
Cheers, Brad.
Thanks, man. It's a great answer, wasn't it, Stuart?
It was a good answer.
Great answer. Good question. Great answer. We have breaking news in case you've just turned on your radio, and that is Chelsea have sacked Liam Rosenior after just 106 days in charge of the club, having lost 5 Premier League games on the bounce. So obviously, the lines are open for you to have your say on all the above. 03717223344. Now, listen, Chelsea fans, Callum McFarlane, he takes charge of your club until the end of the season. But then what? So who do you want in charge? And also, what about Liam Rosenior? A strange situation. Does managing Chelsea, a club like Chelsea, automatically put him now in the frame for other big jobs? What is Liam Rosenior's level now? Do you expect to see him in the Premier League anytime soon? Chelsea fans, you can have your say next by picking up the phone. Just an hour of drive time. So take full advantage. 03717 223344.
You found the mask?
Yeah, I found the mask.
It's just who we are, mate.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I hope you lost it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Mate, do you know, it's half hot in here. And I can't... So you don't realise what it's like. I've had Arteta on. I'm going to have to take this off, mate. Well, I can't.
No? You what?
Wow, it's hot. I've got to take my top off, mate. I can't keep doing this, mate. I can't keep doing this.
What is going on?
What? What do you mean?
What is this?
What's what?
Is this talkSPORT merch?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Oh my God, he's got a shirt. You've now got a shirt on.
You're kidding me.
What is this shirt? What is this?
I don't know what you're on about, mate. I just knocked this whole thing up.
So for people who are not watching on YouTube right now, Cundy has got a T-shirt with the Ange mask. I've seen signs, encouraging signs. Is this talkSPORT merch? Where are you getting this stuff from? Who is making this stuff for you? It's bang out of order. I'm going to HR. This is not on. Honestly, they're gonna go off the shelves. Them, by the way,
And Spurs.
they are gonna go off the shelves. Who made that?
I did.
You're out of order.
Well, I had 10 minutes spare. I thought, what can I do? No, I think. What do you think of the fit?
It's all right. It's muscle fit. It's good.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Welcome back to Last Hour Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, and of course, an absolute legend alongside me, it's Stuart Pearce.
Good morning. This is Extra Time on talkSPORT.
Wait, I mean, what's that mean, Jack? How are you, Stuart Pearce?
I'm very well.
Good to see you. How's your mini cheddar?
Very good. As I say, it solved that groin problem I had
it
earlier.
works, yeah. What are you doing with the mini cheddars now? Spread them about?
I just filled a gap, actually, before tea tonight.
I can't imagine you eating. Nothing of you, is there?
Oh, I like my food. I'm a big eater.
Nothing of you. I've never seen you ever put on weight, ever.
It's a pretty consistent weight, but I've got to say I do like my food.
Okay.
I can out-eat most people in this building.
That's a hell of a claim. Even Cundy?
Easy.
I don't think you can, mate. I mean, he's an animal, he is. Literally.
The only one I shy away from is Proudfoot.
Jim Proudfoot can put it away, can he?
He can put it away.
Oh, okay.
To be fair. But
Profiterole Proudfoot?
Yeah, and that's what he's commonly known as.
Right, still to come. Oh, I forgot about this. We'll have team news ahead of another busy night in the Premier League. Of course, Burnley take on Man City. It's live right here on talkSPORT. But now, Chelsea are looking for yet another new manager.
And he does. For the 6th time in 8 games against Chelsea, Danny Welbeck, who's enjoying a renaissance.
The players need to take responsibility. You know, how many times does Sanchez give the ball away? The players need to have a look at themselves.
2 months ago, they were 4 points clear in 5th. This is all on Rosenior's watch, and as I say, they weren't this bad under Enzo Maresca.
Brighton group of talent comes to the fore once again, punishes Chelsea, who have been a shambles tonight.
Unacceptable in every area, the complete opposite of anything I want to see on a football pitch. I feel numb. I'm angry.
Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses.
Yeah, Chelsea have sacked the manager Liam Rosenior after just 107 days in charge. It comes after their 3-0 defeat at Brighton. That was last night. And, of course, their 5th in a row in the league without even scoring a goal. Callum McFarlane will take charge for the rest of the season. That starts, of course, with Sunday's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds, a game you can hear live on talkSPORT. talkSPORT reporter Ben Jacobs joined us earlier on. He explained why the Chelsea owners changed their minds about Rosenior after previously backing him.
It's a results-driven business, and I also think that there was an issue with the dressing room too. Obviously, Chelsea are really keen to show their respect for Liam Rosenior, and we have to note that that's their position. But this was a project manager that they knew well from his time at Strasbourg, and it hasn't worked almost since day one, after a few early wins since game week 26, which is 9 games ago in the Premier League. Chelsea are second bottom in the form table behind only Tottenham Hotspur. Several players were confused by the tactical identity of the club. You had the Enzo Fernandez situation where he was flirting with a move to Real Madrid, and yet he's the vice-captain of the football club.
Do you think Chelsea, Stuart Pearce, are in the worst possible place they've been in since Abramovich took over the club? I can't remember the club being worse than this in that time.
No, it'd be a fair comment. The one thing I would say is that they've got money and they've spent money, or certainly attracted players.
Yeah.
They've got a big squad of players. They've got talent within the squad. So in that respect, you would say they're in a reasonable place. But on all other aspects, they've got no manager at this moment in time. They go into an FA Cup on Sunday against a team that you would have said 3 months ago they'd be nailed on favourites to win this game. And I think Leeds will be.
Of course they will. They'll be well up for it now, yeah.
So it don't look good.
Okay, let's take calls from Chelsea fans and football fans. Rob's up first. Hello, Rob. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good, man. Off you go. What'd you make of the news?
So I went to the game yesterday at the Amex. As a Blues fan, obviously incredibly disappointing. I thought the team were very lacklustre. I don't think anyone played for the badge last night. I didn't see any passes that I thought, wow, great pass. It was pathetic, to be honest. Really, really disappointing. I don't think it's all on Liam Rosenior. I feel sorry for him in a way. I think he was put in a position where he didn't have the experience, took over a massive club, completely out of his depth, and everyone expected a lot from him. So I feel for him in a way, but, it is what it is. I think there's lots of different issues. I think Enzo Fernandez is a massive issue for us. You can't flirt with the idea of going to Madrid and be the vice-captain of the club. I think that's put a massive downer on the whole team. And I think it's affected other players.
I think you give a really good assessment there of last night. I really do, and that's probably exactly where Chelsea are. Their fans left way before the end. The only ones that stayed behind were the ones who wanted to vent their frustration with the players who went over to the fans, which you give them credit for, and then just stood there. It was like a firing squad, a verbal firing squad after the game.
Rob,
I think it was very, very strange. I think Enzo Fernandez going over and staring at the crowd. I didn't really see any emotion on his face. Yeah, something very strange going on with him. We're missing the likes of Reece James, Cole Palmer, João Pedro. I know we have injuries, but you can't just rely on 2 or 3 players week in, week out. You have to rely on a lot more than that. And right now we don't have them players, so I don't know where they are. They get paid an awful lot of money, and it was pathetic.
Are you as far away from winning the Premier League than you've ever been in your, I don't know how old you are, but in your lifetime?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 29 and obviously followed them from a very young age, and, missed the days of Frank Lampard, John Terry, Drogba constantly, and we're nowhere near that anymore.
Would you have Jose back?
In a heartbeat. I mean, everyone at Chelsea, I think, loves Jose, and they always will. But right now, I think he'd get us through to the end. I think he'd pick up points. I think he'd sort out the issues in the dressing room. And he has the knowledge and the know-how to do that. So, yeah, I would take him personally.
Okay. Rob, thanks for your call. Let's go to Jamie, also a Chelsea fan. Jamie?
Hi, chaps. How you getting on?
Good, man. Good. How are you today with that breaking news?
Well, look, I didn't particularly warm to Rosenior, and the football, as the players have said as well, was pretty turgid. But he was set up to fail, guys.
Yeah.
He's not got the experience. He's been plucked out of the sister club. So really, what's he meant to do? What's he meant to say? Now, I'm going to stay at Strasbourg. They're like, well, no, you're not. I don't really reckon it was much of a decision. He had to go. But, yeah, he's not performed well. And the football last night was just, I don't know, lads. I've been watching Chelsea for over 30 years, and that is one of the worst performances I've ever seen. So the players clearly just checked out. But the thing is, for me, right, you can change who you want in the dugout, and they've done it 6 times, but the sporting directors are the ones to blame for Chelsea's downfall since these new owners came in. They have got 6 managers come in and out the door. Now, listen, I run a business. If I employed someone to make decisions and 6 of them went this sour, they wouldn't be staying there. So until they change and change their attitude, or even just change them completely, none of this will change. You could get anyone in there without them being changed. I don't think anything happens beneficial for the club moving forward.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
No, one thing I was going to say to you, they've taken Liam Rosenior in from the feeder club, if you like, or under the same umbrella as Chelsea, to do a job. It's not worked out. Do you think it's fair to leave him high and dry, or there should be a role? If they've identified Liam as someone who might step up and do really well, after 4 months they've decided to end his career and get him out of the whole organisation totally.
Yeah.
Do you think in any other organisation you would say, you know what, it's not worked out at the moment at our highest profile club, but we're going to keep you in the organisation to go and work at this club, that club, or whatever, to get more experience?
Jamie, do you think they've thrown him under the bus?
Well, I just think he's not got the experience, chaps. He's been at Strasbourg, Hull and Derby. This is Chelsea. Like, whatever you think about Chelsea, love us or hate us, this is the top 10 club in the world for jobs, right? So you've got to have the experience. And even Maresca, when he came from the Championship. Even Potter, he was from Brighton and he didn't have that experience. Chelsea need to go and get someone that is managing at the same level they aspire to be at. They need a Champions League manager, someone that knows the game, what to do. And I just think that you get these managers, and it's not fair on Rosenior. He was doing all right at Strasbourg. Look, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I watched any Strasbourg games, but the noise coming out of there was he was doing a pretty good job. His development has now been hindered, and I know you guys were talking earlier about Lampard. He's had to go back to the Championship, build up the credibility, and come back again, and I think that's what Liam's got to do.
Okay, thanks for your call. Very interesting, isn't it, when a big club like Chelsea, you see their demise over the last few years. When you think of how big a club, I know it's easy to go back and quote a bit of history with the likes of Petr Cech and Ashley Cole and Drogba I mean, the spine of that team, Lamps, was just exceptional. And I know good times have to come to an end. We've seen it with Manchester United, of course, when Fergie left. But it is quite incredible that the owners have come in. And since they've come in, this will be the 4th year out of 5, I think, or the 3rd year out of 4. That's it. 3rd year they haven't qualified for the Champions League. And the team is probably the worst and the weakest it's been for 20 years. Is that fair? Maybe more.
Potentially, when you consider the standards that they
It's
set.
nuts how you can get it so wrong. You've got all that money, a billionaire takes over a football club and gets it 100% wrong.
Yeah. But
Frightening, isn't it?
It happens time and time again
Yeah, it
in
does.
this profession.
Yeah, because they're not football people, they're business people, and they try and run it like a business, and football's like no other industry.
Yeah, it's a unique industry.
It is nuts, isn't it? Watch this space. Of course, talkSPORT will always be here for your calls, so we'll carry on taking them. Of course, we'll have some fun when we come back with the best of talkSPORT as well. A reminder, talkSPORT have got live commentary of Burnley against Man City tonight in the Premier League. It's only here you can listen to that game. We'll have team news ahead of it right here on Drive.
Vincent Kompany's side, who won their 35th Bundesliga title at the weekend, have made adding another winger this summer a top priority. Gordon's thought to be open to a move to the Bundesliga, even though a starting spot the Allianz is not guaranteed. Sources reveal the England international has already spoken to Harry Kane about life in Munich. Newcastle United reported to be willing to sell, providing their valuation of at least £75 million is met. Do you think that there's a possibility that Bayern might balk that valuation, Coisty? 75 million? It's a lot of money. I mean, he's a,
good player.
Fully fledged England international.
Oh, 100%, mate. 75 million. Far too much. Far too much. Good player. I like him. Hasn't shown any level of consistency in the league. I would say best form's been in the Champions League or certainly Europe. Would he be interested in going? You better believe he would. I mean, if you're Anthony Gordon, crikey, a move to Bayern Munich, why would you not?
Well, because you might not play every
week. I know, I get that. And I was just about to say, you look at it, I've got Musiala, Diaz, Guerrero, I mean, Elise, Harry Kane, Gnabry. It won't start. I mean, if Bayern Munich were playing PSG today and he was in that squad, he wouldn't start, right? He would not start. He would not start a must-win game for Bayern Munich.
Drama talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce. I think you need us tonight in partnership with Giacomo, Steiner Brands for every man. Still to come, we'll be joined by former Chelsea midfielder Andy Townsend. He puts in a shift. He was on the breakfast show this morning. Don't stop. Ahead of our live and exclusive Premier League commentary between Burnley and Man City. In case you're unaware of it, Chelsea have sacked Liam Rosenior after just 107 days in charge. We were meant to do the best of talkSPORT at 5:45, but of course Liam Rosenior spoiled that for us, so it's time to do it now. Yeah, it's time for the best talkSPORT friends, where we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across talkSPORT. We'll kick things off with the sports bar from last night. Following Bentley and I bringing you a weekly movie review in IMDb. Oh my God, is this real? Now Cundy and O'Hara are copying again, are they? Let's have a listen.
What's the one where he's in the one where it's like the
Inception?
Inception. That's
Great
the one.
movie.
Yeah,
Great movie.
I've not actually watched it.
Oh, really?
Well, I've watched bits of it, and I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on.
Can I just say, Rob, I'm the worst person at following difficult films. I say to my missus, pause it, I say, what's just happened?
Don't watch Inception, you're great, mate. No.
The lucky Mrs. C, I need just like talk
my
it
missus
through.
does that. She's asking me questions about the film. I'm like, I ain't watched the film as well.
Blimey. Angry, isn't he? I like the way O'Hara started off with saying, oh, what a great movie, what a great movie. Have you seen it? No. If you could bring 3 movies to a desert island, and of course some power to power up that telly, what are your best 3 movies, Stuart?
Me? Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Jaws.
My what?
And It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life is great.
Yeah, magnificent.
What's the name?
Every Christmas.
What's the name of the angel?
Clarence.
Well done. Great movie, that.
I see it every Christmas.
See, it's a great movie.
Magnificent. They would be the 3 that I would choose.
Okay. Who would you want to play young Stuart Pearce if they made a movie about
Ray
him?
Winston.
Well, he's not young though, is he?
Yeah, but if he was.
Yeah, but he's not. My movie comes out next week. Who's Stuart Pearce?
Well, I don't look at young actors now and think, ooh.
Do you not?
Can't we roll back the years?
Okay,
Ray
yeah,
Winston?
fine. Ray Winston would be amazing.
Let's do that.
Amazing. What would a movie about talkSPORT be called?
Die Hard.
Die Hard?
Yeah.
Or Diet Hard? Maybe Diet Hard.
Diet Hard, yeah.
Cundy and O'Hara, they are back tonight at 10 p.m, probably copying some of the stuff we've done today. And, of course, a big evening of Premier League football. Right, on to live football. Here's the GOAT, Adrian Durham, asking Sam Matterface for his magic moment of the weekend.
Morgan Gibbs-White's 15-minute hat-trick.
Here's a question, though. Can any magic moment ever last 15 minutes?
I don't know. You tell us, Danny.
The answer is no.
Well, you say that.
They're not, they were laughing. Didn't get that, were they? What's the most fun you can have in 15 minutes or less, Stuart?
For me, watching a Marx Brothers film.
All right.
Absolutely love the Marx Brothers.
Night at the Opera, Duck Soup.
Yeah. Any name, horse feathers, you name it.
All right.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Coconuts.
Pardon? I was
It's
just
true.
around sitting.
It's true.
Oh, okay. Do you believe in magic?
Yes. I went to, about a month ago, we went to the Magic Table, not far from here, 10 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Magicians, whatever. Fantastic. It was about 8 or 9 magicians. Brilliant night. Really good night. And I come out of them thinking, how have they done that?
I can do magic. Do you want to see magic?
Yeah.
Right. This won't work on air, but I'll show you. See that? My ring. I'm showing you my ring.
Yeah, I can see it.
Take it in the hand, look. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's back in the hand.
That's clever.
Do you like that?
Yeah. See?
Only works in front.
See, I'm a great patsy.
Do you like? Here's another one for you. Write down any playing card. Don't show me what it is.
Any playing card?
Write down. All right? You got it in your head?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to write down what it is. All right? See
Okay.
if this works. Okay. Read it out. What you got?
Jack of Hearts.
What have I got?
Correct.
How's that done?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. talkSPORT Network is once again bringing you a choice of Premier League commentaries tonight. You can watch or catch Adrian Durham and Sam Matterface here on talkSPORT for Burnley against City, whilst Bournemouth take on Leeds over on talkSPORT 2. Let's finish with our sister station, talkSPORT Gold. Here's Sam Matterface again on comms duty for talkSPORT. This time, along with yours truly, Stuart Pearce, everyone.
There's a fella sat next to my right. Honestly, he's been eating a meat pie with almost like someone's feeding him with a catapult, to be honest with you. It's all over his chops. It's incredible. And all over my jacket now.
He looks like Mr. Adrian Durham, isn't he?
Oh, so it is. I didn't recognise him.
What's the best pie or pizza filling topping?
Steak and kidney pie.
You like steak and kidney pie?
Yep.
What'd you have with it? Mash or chips?
Well, you know what? At Brighton last night, we had steak and kidney pie and mashed potato, and it was magnificent.
Yeah,
really good fare. Very good fare.
What's your favourite pizza?
In fact, 2 nights ago, I make me own. I got one of these uni ovens. Make me own.
Yeah.
So you get the base.
Yeah.
And then you put whatever you want on it. So we had cheese, ham, red onion, peppers. It's a big load up.
The only problem with the pizza oven, it's a lot of work to do for like an 8-minute cook. You got to get the dough ready. You got to get chop all stuff, put it in, wait, bing, it's done.
You don't have to get the dough ready if you buy the pizza bases already made.
Oh, you're cheating here.
So you can get them out of the supermarket. All you've got to do is put the tomato paste on, load it up, and then it takes probably about 20 minutes.
Okay. Pineapple?
Heat up. Not for me. I will eat it if it's on there, but it wouldn't be my go-to.
Okay. Tell us one thing we don't know about Adrian Durham.
He goes to an Italian restaurant in St Albans probably 4 days a week.
What, working there?
Well, he's eating his way through the menu if he's working there. I can tell you that for nothing.
Well, you said it, not
Which
me.
is a fantastic one, the Cosa Nostra in St Albans. Fantastic. We're there next Tuesday.
Oh,
I think.
okay. You won't get a bill that night. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen at a football match? Good question.
What was the goalkeeper's name we'd done the spider kick?
Oh, yeah.
I was on the bench for England that night. Higuita or something.
It was Higuita.
That was...
Yeah. Not a lot of people know this. So I'm pretty sure that was Jamie Redknapp hit that ball.
Yeah, could have been.
Right, and as he hit it, the referee blew the whistle for something, meaning the game stopped. And that's when he did it. A lot of people
I don't think so.
100%.
I was in the stadium and I was
Stuart.
on the bench. I don't think that he knew that the game had stopped.
Okay, you think he did it anyway?
It was all part of what he was doing.
Okay. But it wouldn't have counted, is my point.
No, it wouldn't have counted. I don't think he knew that.
Oh, right, okay. All right, okay. Make sure you download 21 Minutes to Go. Have you heard that podcast?
No.
You should download it. You'll love it. 21 Minutes to Go.
Right, okay.
All right.
What's it about?
You get a free Italian meal if you download it, Stuart.
Do you?
I'll pay for it if you download it. It's me and Cundy. Our new podcast drops every Monday and Thursday. Next one's out tomorrow. And, of course, you can find all of our shows on the talkSPORT. We swipe between talkSPORT, and all of it in a moment. More from me and Stuart Pearce after the... Oh, he's got something to say. It's perfect with the music, but now you've ruined it. Go on.
Yep, you missed out what my magical power would be. Invisibility.
Who said that?
It's on this page. Exactly.
Stuart.
There you go.
What happened, though, Jack?
Oh, mate, look, it was gutless and spineless performance. I'm trying to choose my words, but I'm so angry and I'm so disgusted with that performance. That is, first half, I don't know what that was. That was absolutely turgid, disgusting. And do you know what? It's getting worse. It's getting worse. And that, Brighton are a good side. I mean, they caught us at a good time. No, they are a good side, by the way.
Good team.
They are. But that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And do you know what? We got Leeds at the weekend, okay? And I'm telling you now, we ain't winning that game. We are not winning that game. We're getting dumped out the FA Cup. I don't know where the next victory's going to come from. I don't know where the next shot on target's going to come from. Absolutely disgusted. I am. I think it's the worst performance I've ever seen, and I've played in a few as a Chelsea side. I genuinely, I'm trying to. I can't think of a worse performance than that. I genuinely can't.
No encouraging signs.
I cannot think of a worse, gutless, spineless performance.
No signs?
I just can't think of a worse performance.
Any signs?
Encouraging signs? No, disgusting signs.
Any good signs?
Disgusting signs. Encouraging signs. Disgusting signs.
Encouraging signs?
Disgusting signs. Encouraging signs. Disgusting signs. Disgusting signs. That's all I've got. Disgusting. Disgusting signs. Absolutely disgusted with that.
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? That seems to be the case with the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first Super Bowl was held in 1967. Initially, the halftime show was a display purely for the fans in the stadium, with marching bands, dancers, and American patriotism for all to see. And that's what it was for the first few years. Disney had a go with a few questionable displays in the 1980s, but it wasn't until '93 that we got the first glimpse into the future of halftime shows. Michael Jackson's stellar performance gave NFL execs something to think about. A raft of massive names followed, including Diana Ross, U2, Janet Jackson, who gave us the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction of all time. So how many people are involved? To give you an idea of the scale, Rihanna's 2023 performance included 800 people, and experts reckon it cost $13 million. What's even more impressive than some of the names on the bill every year is the fact they do it for free. The artists know the exposure they'll get from doing the show will rocket them up the charts across the world. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Driver talkSPORT, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce. By the way, did you listen to the breakfast show this morning?
No.
And Andy Townsend was alongside Ali McCoy. Andy Townsend told a story about how he lived a mile away from Karen Brady. I nearly fell asleep at the wheel. It was riveting. Unbelievable story. I mean, literally, it was like, yeah, she lived round the corner from me. I mean, that was it. There was no substance to it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, from us at 7, Adrian Damos live commentary of Burnley against Man City in the Premier League. We can look ahead to that game now as we're joined by former Villa and Chelsea midfielder. He didn't hear that, did he? Your co-commentator on talkSPORT tonight, Andy Townsend, joins us. Andy.
Good evening, Andy. Pearce. See, problem is, Andy, you've got to have a big house to get that story.
A big what? Arse?
No, big house, I'm afraid.
What was the story, though? It was just you live round the corner from. Was that it?
That is it. I mean, it wasn't particularly riveting. I'll grant you that. But and I don't think I ever really saw her either. But I knew where she lived, and it was just round the corner.
I knew where she lived.
There you
that
go.
sounds so intimidating. I enjoyed you on the breakfast show. I was stuck in the car for 2 hours. You kept me entertained. It was a great show, Anne.
Oh, good.
Right, listen, before we talk about tonight's game, we've got to talk about your former side, Chelsea. We heard the news earlier on, they sacked Liam Rosenior. What was your instant reaction to that? Here's the question, not were you stunned that they sacked him, because I think we all sort of knew it was coming, but were you surprised they sacked him today?
Yes, a little I was, yeah. I didn't anticipate it happening today on the eve of an FA Cup semi-final weekend, which is very, very important to the club. Perhaps not as important as some make out, but I think it is. So yeah, I was a little surprised at the timing of it. But ultimately, look, the outcome I think was sort of inevitable, really. I think it was always going to happen. And last night, when you started to really analyse, and I know Pearcey was there last night, when you're starting to look at the way a lot of those Chelsea boys went about it last night, it looks like a few of them are down tools, towed it. And unfortunately, that's players. They'll get you the sack. We've been players and we've been part of dressing rooms when managers leave, and it's never great, but unfortunately, it's just the nature of the business.
I mean, the performance yesterday, Andy, was so bad. I've got to say Brighton were outstanding, but the performance was so bad. It even took me by surprise, to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, and again, I think there's a lot of that in it, Stuart, where when it gets to that sort of level on the back of the run that they've had, when it really looks like the players, and even their reaction when they were standing there in front of the Chelsea fans, just sort of with a vacant expression on their face, just standing there looking at the punters at the end of the game. It's almost as if, when we have had enough of working with this guy and we want someone else. Look, it was a radical appointment. Bringing Liam in from day one was always they must have had everything crossed. The people that run the club at Chelsea nowadays.
Are they to blame for that?
Go of it.
Are they to blame?
Yeah, they are. Do you know, accountability with sporting directors? And I mean, Chelsea got 4 or 5 voices there below Egbali and below the owner, and so can you imagine when they're all having their 2 bobs worth here and there about the way that certain players are playing, or the way that or the type of player that they want to go and buy, etc., etc. It must be very difficult for an experienced coach. Now, for someone like Liam, a younger guy, in the end, it's kind of chewed him up and spat him out a little bit, the whole situation, which is a shame. He'll bounce back if he wants to. He'll bounce back. He'll get a job in the Championship or something like that again, and good luck to him if he does. But I feared this might happen to him, and ultimately it has.
Okay, let's turn our attention to the Championship briefly, because Coventry secured. Sorry, hold on. Let me. Sorry, I'm going a bit nuts. We'll talk about that later on, Anne, because we have to talk about the game you're at tonight.
Yes.
Man City away at Turf Moor, taking on a Burnley side. If Burnley lose, they're down, but we sort of know they're down anyway. But the bigger picture is, of course, Man City, with the right amount of goals, can go top of the Premier League tonight. They've done all the hard work now. You expect them, after tonight's 90 minutes, you expect them to be sitting top of the Premier League tonight, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be staggered if they're not. I think coming here tonight, and it'd be interesting to see what sort of team he plays. No Rodri tonight, of course, after getting a knock the other day, and maybe 1 or 2 others might be rested. Who knows? I mean, that's, Pep Guardiola has still got a lot of great players to rotate and to choose from, but there might be a few changes tonight, because I think he can still do that and get this game done. I'd be very surprised if they don't win this by at least a couple, if not 3. I'll be very surprised. But still plenty of football to be played, but they've got themselves into a brilliant position now, City, on the back of it was a great game. I was there at the weekend. I loved it. It was a proper Premier League game. And Arsenal had their moments, whatever anyone says. They had their chances, didn't take them. But City, when their one came along, they grabbed it, and they deserved it on the day. They were the better team.
Where do you see the title going now, Andy?
I mean, look, City on the face of it have got the tougher games, but I think they're all tough for all of them now, really do. I know that City have got to go Everton, Bournemouth, Villa. The Villa one could be potentially after Villa, last game of the season, after Villa have maybe had a Europa League final, should they overcome Forest. Of course, I know there's a lot of football to be played, but all ifs, buts and maybes. All I know is that Arsenal are going to, I thought, were better at the weekend than what they have been over the last month. They were a lot better, but they're going to need to make sure they get the game done against Newcastle at the weekend and try and apply again another little layer of pressure to City. But I would say now I'd be very surprised if City let it go. I think I would, Stu. I'd be surprised now if they don't get it done.
Do you think to win the Premier League you need to remain unbeaten between now and the end of the season? You do?
I think so. I think so. But look, it's it's not beyond either of them, but I genuinely feel, looking at the way City are playing, and they have absolutely slipped into top gear.
Yeah, they really
absolutely when it matters, and they're looking so effective, so good, so fresh, tons of energy in the team. I mean, I was talking this morning with Ali about when it was Kyle Walker, Diaz, Stones, and Gvardiol, you know, 4 real warriors, and now you've got Nico O'Reilly, Kushanov, Gahey, and Mateus Nunes. You know, such a difference there.
Yeah.
City will give teams chances, but they've got a ton of running in their team, loads of energy, still enough know-how. The main man up front, so I think they're going to take some stopping. I think it's absolutely theirs to let slip through their fingers. I'm not sure they will.
And always a pleasure. Have you had a little nap this afternoon? I mean, up early for the breakfast show. Yeah.
Up early for the breakfast show, a little kip on the train.
Okay.
Yes, and now I'm absolutely, it's beautiful up here tonight. Wonderful evening, glorious sunny evening at Burnley, and we're really looking forward to the game.
Go on, what would the score be? Earlier on, you sort of alluded to the fact there will be goals.
I think it might be 3. I think I'll go 3-0. Okay. I'm usually wrong, but I'm going to stick with that 3-0.
I think I agree with you tonight. And keep up the wonderful work for talkSPORT. Always a pleasure, man.
Take care, Andy. Thanks for listening.
Cheers, mate.
See you soon. He's one of the best Andy Townsend. He's
good.
great.
He
He's
knows
great.
the game.
He does.
knows the game.
A bit
Make
like
no
yourself,
mistake.
Stuart, let's be honest. Right. I alluded to this earlier on, but I assumed we were going to talk to Andy about it, but we're going to talk to you about it. We can turn our attention to the Championship ever so briefly. Coventry secured the title with 2 games to go, with a 5-1 win at home to Portsmouth last night. The boss, Frank Lampard, joined the boys on the sports bar afterwards. He said he was delighted to wrap things up last night.
Obviously got over the line promotion-wise on Friday, and it was a brilliant night at Blackburn with the away fans, and then to come here and do it in front of the home fans with an emphatic display and do it so well, and the celebrations at the end, and to become champions, because it's one thing getting promotion, it's a big deal for the football club, but to go and do that tonight was pretty special.
It was special. I'm really pleased for Frank Lampard. I really am. I think when he took over Coventry, I would imagine the expectations was make the playoffs. No one in their wildest dreams thought that he would go up automatically, let alone win the Championship. I'm led to believe it's the hardest league to get out of, hardest league to win the Championship. He's just done beyond brilliant there, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, Coventry was my first club, so I've always had sort of followed their pathway on and off the pitch, and they've had some really tough times over the last couple of decades and beyond, moving grounds, no ground, new ground, all of that type of thing. Mark Robins done a brilliant job before him, and he's come on and just put the icing on the cake and got them promoted. You know, they've been 20 odd years outside, and he's done a great job. And to be fair, I'm delighted really that he has, because I think he puts his work in. I played with a young Frank when he was at West Ham as a kid, and I was, you know, double old then, but you saw the professionalism in him, you know, and you knew that he had old head on his shoulders and whatever. So fantastic, and great opportunity from in next year. I'm intrigued to see how they go next year.
Do you think it underlines the fact that managers need time to find themselves in the role? Because of course Derby, I think he got them to the playoffs but didn't get them up.
Yeah,
didn't obviously work out at Chelsea both times. Didn't really happen for him at Everton, and I think a lot of football fans felt that this was not his last chance, but a real good opportunity to prove himself. Do you think that that's just the amount of time it takes someone that's relatively new to management to find out a lot about the sport? 'Cause it's very difficult to take up any role and be excellent at it straight away.
I mean, listen, you can go and do all the badges you want to do, which everyone does anyway. But to actually dealing with situations on a daily basis, stuff that gets thrown up that you wouldn't even believe about, how you deal with them, how you deal with half times, how you deal with yesterday for Liam Rosenior after the game. When do you make changes within a game? Do you wait till half time? The experienced managers, and probably you go back to Mourinho, made 2 or 3 substitutions after 20 minutes away at Fulham, I believe. You know, didn't like what he saw. Bear in mind, he'd been working a week on the tactics for the team and makes 2 or 3 substitutions. You only get that with experience. You really do.
Yeah, you do indeed. Well done, Super Frank. We know he listens to the show. We're going to have a quick break, but do not go anywhere. We were just talking to Andy Townsend about a big game from Turf Moor that's live on talkSPORT tonight as Burnley hosts Manchester City. Team news for that game when we come back. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein, and Super Stuart Pearce.
Good afternoon. Well, I think there's a big debate now about whether Liam Rosenior survives even into that FA Cup semi-final against Leeds at the weekend. I've got to say, this shows how quickly things can change in football. It was only a month ago that we were being told by sources at Chelsea that Liam Rosenior's position was safe regardless of whether or not they qualify for the Champions League, that they wanted to give him a whole season in charge, the whole of next season, before making a judgment. That stance does seem to have changed this morning. As you mentioned, it was a dismal night down at the Amex. 3-0 probably, or not probably, definitely flattered Chelsea. They could have been 3 or 4 down by half-time. 5 defeats in a row now without scoring a single goal for the first time since 1912. That was the year the Titanic sunk, and you feel like the iceberg is certainly on the horizon when it comes to Liam Rosenior. But what on earth do Chelsea do next? They've tried with Mauricio Pochettino. They've tried with Enzo Maresca. Now they've tried with Liam Rosenior. None of it really seems to be working. And I wrote a piece actually for the talkSPORT website in the aftermath of Chelsea's defeat against Manchester City, suggesting that while Rosenior is talking about the prospect of Champions League qualification, actually he should forget that. The danger for Chelsea is not what's in front of them in terms of getting into Europe next season. It's what's coming from behind. So many teams now, Brighton included, who've gone above them in the table. I think there's a real prospect. Not only did Chelsea not get in the Champions League, they don't qualify for Europe at all. And clearly for Blueco, that is a disaster.
Alex, Simon and Danny with me, of course. Simon, does this appear to feel like a lame duck situation as far as Liam Senior is concerned?
Well, I think it's irresponsible ownership to some extent.
Isn't it? We're nearly there, Stuart. It's Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, superstar. It's Stuart Pearce. We are here in partnership with our wonderful friends at Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Follow us at 7 Adrian Dome hosts live coverage of Burnley. They take on Man City in the Premier League. Team news for that is in. The one and only Sam Matterface can tell us more. Sam, good evening.
Good evening to both of you. Yes, welcome to Lancashire, where the rolling hills over the top of the stand opposite us are basked in evening sunshine. It's a beautiful Lancashire evening here, but it doesn't have a feel of being a beautiful night for Burnley, who will be relegated if they're beaten by Manchester City, who will go top if they win. Burnley have made 3 changes. Humphreys, Laurent and Chauna come into the team. They've gone to a back 5, which we expected. Dubravka is their goalkeeper. Carl Walker, the former Manchester City captain, is their right back. Hector Humphreys and Esteve will be 3 centre-halves. Hartman will play at left-back. Chauna, Laurent, Ward-Prowse and Anthony will play as a 4 in front of that, with Zian Fleming, who's got 10 goals this season, leading the line. They've got a bit of an injury crisis, actually. No Cullen, no Amdouni, no Hannibal Mejbri. Jordan Byers been out for a really long time, and so has Connor Roberts. Let's talk about Manchester City, because we knew that Rodri was not going to be available today. So what do you do? Nico Gonzalez, me and Andy Townsend thought, no. Nico O'Reilly, of course, moves in from left back into the centre of midfield. So Donnarumma is the goalkeeper, Nunez the right back. It's Kusanov and Gahey and Aït-Nouri that make up the back four. Bernardo Silva and O'Reilly in midfield with Semenyo, Cherki, Doku and Haaland leading the line. On the bench, Trafford Reinders, Stones, which is good news, is fit, Ake, Marmoush, Kovacic, who's still coming back, Nico Gonzalez, Savinho and Phil Foden, who still can't get into this team. And the substitutes for the home team, Max Weiss, the goalkeeper, Worrell Ugachukwu, dropped out of the starting 11, Foster, Edwards, Florentino, Lucas Perez, Broja and Mike Trezor.
Thanks, Sam. The football doesn't stop there because over on talkSPORT 2 tonight you can hear Bournemouth against Leeds. Alex Crook is watching for talkSPORT and has team news ahead of that one. Crookie.
Good evening. Perhaps surprisingly, with Premier League survival all but secured in a big FA Cup semi-final against crisis club Chelsea at the weekend. Leeds unchanged from the team that beat Wolves at 3-0 last time out. One alteration, meanwhile, for Bournemouth in what is Andoni Iraola's first home game since confirming his departure at the end of the season. David Brooks comes into midfield with Rayan making way, so the Cherries go with Petrovic in goal, Jimenez, Hill, Senesi and Truffert the back four, Christian Scott in midfield, Brooks, Krupi and Tavernier behind Evan Nilsson up front. For Leeds, Darlow in goal, a back three of Justin, Biol and Strauch, Bogle, Ampadu, Tanaka and Goodmanson make up the midfield with Aronson and Okafor behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin in attack. The Cherries looking to continue their club record unbeaten Premier League run and move closer to Europe. Leeds looking to absolutely rubber stamp survival. At the Vitality, this one live on talkSPORT 2 as Bournemouth host Leeds.
Quickie, are you still there?
I am.
Good. A quick word from you. While we've got you, we broke the news earlier on, courtesy of a proper journalist, Ben Jacobs, about the sacking of Liam Rosenior earlier on this afternoon. Any update on who takes over?
Was that our exclusive from this morning that he was fighting to save his job? Yes.
Yeah, but we got the sacking news. We got the big news. Not fighting. You did fighting to save his job. What does that mean? Sacking. We got the sack. Ben Jacobs broke it. Brilliant, journo.
He did. Absolutely fantastic job. Andoni Iraola is the name that I'm hearing as a potential leading contender, someone I'm about to watch here at the Vitality. Someone I'm told that Berdad Egbali, one of the co-owners, one of the main decision makers at Stamford Bridge, is a huge fan of. I think Crystal Palace have shown some interest in Iraola as well since he confirmed his exit from here at Bournemouth, but I think he has his eyes on a slightly bigger fish, with no disrespect to last season's FA Cup winners. So potentially Iraola replacing Liam Rosenior at the end of the season. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the talkSPORT website and right here on talkSPORT.
Yeah, we'll catch up with Ben Jacobs again, I'm sure. Crookie, we love your work, you know that. Thanks, pal. Have a lovely evening.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, man. There you go. The best, or one of the best, Alex Crook. We love Ben Jacobs as well, who broke that news, by the way, earlier on, that Chelsea have sacked Liam Rosenior. No one-word Billy. No one-word Billy's decided to leave early. But it doesn't matter when you've got this fella alongside you.
Sexy and I know it.
Oh, you picking your own music, yeah?
Yep.
Producer Joe is in the house, everyone.
Evening.
How are you, Joe?
Yeah, good, thank you.
What have you done today? Yeah, no one cares. No one cares about you. No one cares about Billy. We've got 2 and a bit minutes. It's me and Stuart Pearce.
In a game of Guess the Intro.
Oh, Stuart.
Are we both happy with that?
Oh, yes.
Who wants to go first?
Do you see how he gets nervous when he comes this side of the glass?
I have noticed
that. You know, he's
terrified.
Cock-a-doodle-doo over there, isn't he?
Is that what?
Exactly.
You got the first bit right?
Yeah.
Right.
Day I've been building up.
Stuart should go first. It's Stuart
Right,
Pearce,
Stuart.
everyone.
Stuart, can you tell me what this song is?
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Wow.
But
Recognises it.
Fresher.
so recognisable.
Fresher. You can tell us the TV
Right.
show if you want.
It's in a few TV shows now.
Mobland, isn't it? Most recently. Stuart, I'm going to have to push you here because...
It's Fontaine's DC.
He's got it. And
Wait, who told him
fan
that?
that I've
Did they tell you that? Did they tell you that?
Stu knows his stuff.
Okay, all right.
It was Starburster.
So you got it wrong?
Andy,
get it
you're
wrong.
first.
You
Was that Fontaine's DC or
It
not?
was Fontaine's DC, yeah.
What was the other bit you just said?
It's called Starburst.
I didn't know what it was called.
Right, so no points, Stuart.
Andy, your first song.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
That's easy.
Do it again. Jolene, Dolly Parton.
Correct.
That's amazing, by the way. That's amazing, isn't
That
it?
was an easy one.
I reckon we can get through 2 more each.
Okay, go on then. I want an easy, Stuart.
Stuart, over to you.
I know what that is.
The Verve Bittersweet Symphony.
Oh, close.
No,
it
it's
is the
not.
Verve.
No?
Not bit
Verve?
happiness, more or less. That one.
I'm going to tell you so we can get another one. It's Lucky Man.
Oh, you're unlucky for getting that wrong, Stuart Pearce. I'll show you what should have happened, Stuart.
Andy Goldstein.
I know that song. I don't know who it's by, but I know it. All of a sudden it blows up. The song goes really...
Yep.
I don't know who it's by.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah, I know.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
It is
September.
Correct.
Okay,
So, we're equal now.
If they go on
call it
offer, they
equal.
don't, sadly.
Is that right?
One more quick one each.
All right, one all.
Stu.
Rod Stewart, do you think I'm sexy?
Well done. Andy, you need
I'm
this.
in the lead.
Stay in
It's
the
going to be
game.
such a
You
stupid
need this.
one. I don't
The
want
final song of the day.
Okay.
Got it.
Go on.
Calm it down.
Go on, Stu.
Just got it. Don't you want me, baby? You human league.
Wait,
Well
it's
done.
my...
No, we let him have it.
No,
Good
that's what he said.
What's
No,
this?
it's my question, though.
It's 3 times
You're
in a row I've
disgraced,
done
Stuart
you.
Pearce. You're...
Thank you.
Pardon? You've done what?
Well done, Stuart. You win.
Stuart, I love you like a slightly older brother. Thank you so much for your time over the last few hours. You've been nothing short of magnificent. Next time you're in, make sure you bring something for what's in Stuart's bag.
I will. It's only because I've come from Brighton.
Okay.
I did think of it.
Thank you, Stuart, as always. I'm back tomorrow with Bentley at 4. Make sure you stay with talkSPORT. A big night of football, of course, right here on talkSPORT. You can find out if Man City will be sitting top of the Premier League tonight. Stay with talkSPORT live commentary of Burnley against City. Build-up begins right now. The boys on the sports bar from 10 will be taking your calls. Have a lovely evening. Be safe, everyone. Be safe.
That much is true.
It's expensive as well, living in Paris by the sounds of it, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
It's expensive being Emmanuel Petit by the sounds of it as well.
No, so happy to be Emmanuel Petit, you know.
Oh, quite right.
If I was not Emmanuel Petit, I wish I would be. I could be Emmanuel Petit. Honestly, my life is beautiful. You
Well,
know?
let's get into this. What